What is up, YouTube? We are live. I got some guests here with me tonight. I've got Bert, the Hurricane Trooper.
Greetings programs.
We've got Patriot Prime.
Hello.
And we've got another
Get
guest here.
Hello.
And here we are with Hurricane, like in our vicinity. And we got someone with worse internet than we have.
He
That's Treebot.
who looks like he's in a hurricane right now.
It's raining.
Special guest Treebot's hair.
And he's already froze up.
It's raining.
It's gonna rain.
It's gonna rain. Rain and wind, right?
And I've got that all the way up here too. So just letting you know.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, the wind's starting up, where I live, but you're closer to the shore, Bert. So.
I am. Yeah, I was actually checking evacuation zones today because half of my county's been mandatory evacuated. So I was checking zones. Yep.
That is crazy.
Yeah, I'm 10 minutes from the water.
Wow.
So, yeah.
So hopefully, I mean, you're not in the zone though, I guess, right?
I'm not. So I mean, I'm not in an evacuation zone for my county, but I'm adjacent to the Gulf. Like it's like 15 minutes from the Gulf. But where it's making landfall is about 2 hours north of here. So
yeah,
right now,
like a little bit farther west.
Yeah, we've been getting winds all day, but it didn't really start raining till about 4 o'clock. It started raining.
Yeah, we got high wind warnings starting about 9 o'clock up here until tomorrow around 10. So we're even getting some of it.
That's what we got.
Bypass us.
We got flood advisories everywhere right now.
Say it again.
We've got flood advisories everywhere right now up here.
I was watching a live feed earlier. There's a very important, or it's a commuter bridge that connects Tampa with St. Pete. It's called the Howard Franklin Bridge.
Right.
There's a channel on YouTube that was supposed to be live feed of that bridge, and you can see the water just pounding in and going all the way across, and cars going back and forth on it, and everybody's commenting like, "These people are crazy." Yeah. And I get on there and I'm like, I check my local local pages. That bridge had been shut down for like an hour.
Oh, okay.
And I'm like, guys, this is not a live feed. That bridge has been shut down. There's police barricades there. The people are not crossing that bridge. This is not a live feed. And people are still arguing. Look at these idiots.
Oh, jeez.
People are arguing on the internet? What?
Yeah, think?
Just give me a second here.
Gannon.
Hey, what?
How dare you leave this guy out?
I hate that thing.
Why? How dare you? How dare you leave this out?
West Virginia? What part of West Virginia? Me too.
So that Fans Hobby Night Beat self-destructed on me for just looking at it funny.
I was waiting for you to get to that one, and then you didn't, and I was mad, and I gave you a thumbs down.
Well, I have a separate video planned for it. That's a whole other can of worms, separate to how I feel about the T30 one.
I would send you mine for your video, but I don't want you to break mine too.
It's something I got to do now that I'm playing with this new software or whatever. It's kind of cool. I'm looking at doing something like doing like if I do a segment when I start talking Transformers news or something, like have like a quick, Transformers news or something, come up. Oh God.
Why? What is wrong with you today? What is wrong with you today?
He is having, listen, no, you got to understand something. It is in Florida, from what I've been told, is they all have their hurricane parties. So he's already had a few drinks.
It's hurricanes to celebrate the hurricane.
He just wants to see me have an aneurysm on stream is what he wants to do.
Look, he has a place of honor right here. He's by my desk. This is the desk I work. I spent 10 hours a day right here. and he never leaves my side. This was.
I don't think I showed you guys this.
Cherished gift from Treebot at TFCon.
That's so funny.
So I got my deluxe hard magnetic lid case for my pot. I'm going to have Peter Cullen and Frank Welker sign.
Yeah, I know you're waiting for that. You got to take it out of the case to make sure they sign it. So they sign
Yes. Did Larkin tell you that story?
Yes.
Yeah, sign the case.
He signed the protective case and sent the box.
Sign the outer shell and it gets rubbed off on the plane.
That's so funny. That is so funny.
I had there was somebody when I was stationed in Korea. There was we went to a concert and they were signing stuff at the end, and the only thing I had really on me was my hat. So I took my hat off, and they signed the inside of the hat, and then I put the hat back on. Next day, all the signatures were.
Oh. Wow, that's terrible.
Yep.
So, before we start talking about the subject of the evening, we are going to talk a little bit of Transformers news. And then we'll still have our fun in the meantime, and I'll answer all your, questions and super chats and stuff like that as time goes on. So let's get into some Transformers news, and we'll bring that up here. And let's see.
Well, this will probably be news to me because work has been hectic. So I've missed a lot of stuff today.
Yeah. There we go. That's better.
On this new streaming service you're using?
Yeah, I can bring in the like if I wanted to listen to
I can see the chat. Yeah, I can see the chat, but I don't see anywhere where we can type. Normally we can participate in the chat with the other service. I don't see that.
At the bottom you should say something like post like right at the if you click on comments you should be able to see something where you can leave a comment.
No.
It says search, I don't see how to add one.
I don't see anything.
I'm just going to type it in here till all are one. And it lets me type it, but it doesn't let you guys type it?
I don't see anything.
I'm going to send you a screenshot.
Maybe we don't have privileges. Maybe we don't have privileges.
Joe, Rodimus, I'm going to send you a screenshot on our group chat. So you can see what we see.
Or here you can, if you click on comments, you can go into the main chat there. But I guess I don't know.
Well, but anyhow, usually we can all else fails, we can go on the YouTube page and make comments there. But if I do that, I'm going to crash. So
okay,
I'll just talk.
Yeah, we'll just call out the comments as we see them. I just sent you a screenshot, Joe, so you can see what we see. We don't.
Anyway, so this Monster Hunter Transformers collaboration is a retool of Kingdom Air Raiser. And I've never played Monster Hunter.
Prime.
Yeah. Say again?
That's not Game of Thrones Prime.
Yeah, it's pretty much Game of Thrones Prime.
I think they're hearkening back to the original Beast Wars Primal with this when he was a bat.
Good call.
Is that what they're going for?
It kind of looks. I mean, it's a dragon, isn't it? Or
it looks like a bat.
It's like a dragon. I've played Monster Hunter a little bit. Mm-hmm. It's kind of a dragon bat type thing.
Yeah.
It's not too specific on either end. It's more well, I should say it's more dragon than bat.
Yeah, they need to retool and repaint this into original Beast Wars Primal because look at it.
Well, that's a character now from the IDW.
Convo Bat?
Yeah, they call it something.
Yep.
Or what's his name in the new IDW Beast Wars comic that they did?
Well, him. Sure, they need to make him out of this figure.
Poop. I'm going to use that.
Get a closer look at the robot mode.
Yeah, look at that, man. This is a prime candidate for a Convoy Bat. I want that.
It's kind of neat.
Kind of Viking looking.
Yeah, definitely.
I just wish they didn't make it an Optimus. Every collaborative that Japan does is an Optimus, it seems like.
Mm-hmm. There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that.
You're biased. your giant shelf would approve though.
Yeah.
You know, my Dragon Megatron, my son constantly will grab it and play with it and have it smash things and, you know, have Bowser ride on its back.
That's awesome.
The Legacy version or original?
The Legacy figure. I'm not going to have him play with the original.
The original breaks, man. You can't let kids play with the original.
Yeah, mine's on a hair trigger over there. It's getting ready to disintegrate.
I got mine from the original owner who had it, you know, since he was a kid, and it was put away in a box. And you know how it's got the double hinges for the hips transformation,
right?
Split open. One of those was the hinge for the pin was actually snapped. It still worked. It still transformed, but you had to be extra careful for it. And I had to get a parts donor to swap parts out, and the parts donor had other pieces that had snapped.
So, mine was one of the knees. That's what got me. Was one of his knees in the Dragon mode.
Yeah, the pin joints on that original Dragon Megatron, they're all subject to breakage. So don't let your kids play with them.
Mine seemed pretty good. Of course, last time I had mine off the shelf, I compared him to the original or the Legacy Megatron.
This looks really cool, man.
Smaller, I'm just thinking about this. He's going to be a lot smaller.
Yeah, it's definitely a deluxe, unless they use the Rise of the Beast one. Unless they use the Rise of the Beast version, that's a little bigger, but
it's going to be very tiny.
Regular deluxe, yeah, it's going to be small.
And he's going to be $50. So
for a deluxe.
For a deluxe, yeah, but it's like all this retooling that they did with the Dragon.
And it's an exclusive.
So I guess that's what you're paying for. But it's going to be like
that came out recently.
You're importing from Japan.
Complaining about being $50. There was
what do you guys think of this thing right here? This Minecraft.
Okay, I can talk about this. Okay, yeah,
I'm out.
So this,
get Dylan in here.
We're gonna play it tomorrow. Me and a friend of mine are gonna try to play it once it downloads. It's basically Devastation, but in Minecraft. It's weird. Yeah, it's weird.
Beat 'em up.
And even down to like the models they chose. The Bumblebee looks a lot like he does in Devastation, except he's more blocky now. And the combat's a lot like it's very Devastation-ish. I was hoping it'd be like a world thing, like you'd spawn them in your world and they just show up like mobs, but apparently not. It's going to be a whole separate mode, which I mean I'm fine with, but I just wish it would have been more mob heavy instead of it just being a mode to play.
So let's do this. Let's bring up the.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's Devastation to a T.
That is straight up Devastation right there. So it's Devastation with crappier graphics.
Well, it's co-op though. That's the thing. It's co-op, so it's got a leg up on Devastation.
I'm trying to look at the combo. Elita 1 there for a second, just how she's like what she's modeled after.
It looks like Blocky's the game.
It is so blocky. It is so very blocky.
Say this, Jazz looks like he's the Reveal the Shield one in car mode.
Atari 2600 graphics going on.
I know, right? It looks fun. I mean, I guess
it does. It does, and I'm sure it will be. I'll definitely let you guys know how it goes once we play it.
Yeah.
Leland
Here he is.
Oh my goodness.
There he is.
Wait, I'm trying to get my audio set here.
Oh, there you go.
Let me see.
Well, you should be able to change your audio settings.
And he looks like he's in the Tron universe. Look at all
that stuff. Right? But that's the next thing that we have going. And then there's this.
Which went live today.
It literally came up. It is the Transformers 40th Anniversary Limited Edition trading cards.
Oh, they blew their goal out of the water, didn't they?
They definitely did. I think they didn't anticipate that everybody would want some trading cards with G1 stuff all over it.
Ain't no one like G1.
those people that did that chessboard are like got to be kicking themselves in the butt right now because
yeah.
The only thing that hasn't been funded recently.
I still have the king piece somewhere.
Yeah, I don't think they made anybody send them back. I think everybody that got one kept it.
Yep. I have forgotten all about that.
So that's kind of neat. This went up. What do you guys think of this thing?
More repaints and retools.
Yeah. I mean, it's not necessary. Like, I'm perfectly fine with the ones that I have.
I don't think it's heinous by any means, but, well, okay. I'll say it's heinous that they put Blitzwing in it, because Blitzwing's still on my shelves at all my stores.
Yeah.
The other two makes more sense.
The colors on Blitzwing, though, are so much nicer. That's the thing that gets me. Yeah. Is like that purple is a nicer purple color, and he's got the gray there on his like behind his arms.
It's just so hard to double dip and triple dip on leader
class. And I have no intention of double triple dipping. And it's a clean Astro train.
Yeah.
There we
go. You guys hear me now?
Now
we got you.
Yep. I mean, we could hear you the first time too, sir. Can you hear us?
Do you want to hear us?
What's going on here?
We can hear. I hear. Go ahead, talk. Go ahead. We can hear you.
Sorry, guys. My audio is not working here. So I know that you can hear me, but I can't hear you.
Okay.
No, I cannot. You can hear us. All right, let me try one more time. I know that you guys can hear me. So
okay, all you have to do is just nod your head and agree every time we say something. It looks like we're talking.
Well, it's a good thing we're starting with this before I actually we start talking about Transformers 1, because I know everybody in the chat wants us to talk about this. But I mean, I like the colors on Blitz. Like, Blitzwing is the one thing where I'm like, man, they really knocked it out of the park with the colors. But I can just get the Toy Hack set, and I'd be happy with him. And then Starscream, it's like, yay, another release of Starscream.
they're shoving that 86 throne down our throats. They won't let us, or that.
Well, it's without the throne.
Yeah, it's just
it's the same thing minus the throne.
Yep.
You know,
easy pass.
And he doesn't need all his king leader accessories as king accessories, because that didn't take place in that episode. Isn't that the
this is a triple takeover episode, Yep. Or as everyone's calling it now, low IQ takeover because of that animation.
The animation in that episode was pretty poor. I mean, that was actually the unknown studio, because there's 7 episodes of season 2 that were animated not by Toei and not by ACOM. It was like an unknown studio.
Well, have you seen the animation that somebody did on YouTube of it? Or it's basically like a memed up version of it.
Yeah.
I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah.
Like Bumblebee falls through the wall, and Optimus picks him up and runs away.
Again, I just had my first flicker of lights.
Uh-oh.
My lights just flickered. That was the first time.
All right. So then. Okay,
Can you hear us?
I can hear you guys. Yeah.
There we go. It's all that flashiness is sucking your power away from your microphone.
The Christmas lights, man.
Might be. I think I'm stuck, actually. What's up, guys? How's it going?
How is it going?
I know you've been around the world from what we hear.
I have been. It has my screen froze here, because it looks like I'm froze.
Oh, you're moving on our end.
I'm moving
on our end.
We can see it.
Okay, that's weird. Yeah, it's been
It's Bert that we're worried about right now, because Bert looks like you're frozen over there, Bert, or no?
No, I'm good.
No, he's just worried.
Okay, it's because Bert lives near Tampa, which is right where the hurricane is passing. I live an hour, or was it 45 minutes north?
You're about an hour.
You're probably like 45 minutes, north. Yeah, northeast, right?
But you're more inland than I am. I'm closer to the water.
Yeah.
Hey, Sergeant Curtis, thank you so much, but my birthday is in July. So that is a really early birthday wish that you gave me right there.
It's not Christmas yet. So, and then here's Raz. What's going on, Raz?
But hey,
RKR. We'll get to see him live soon.
I
Live.
won't.
So then we've got these trading cards for Transformers 1, which kind of goes into the spoiler territory for the movie. Because of all the characters that are in it. But
I've got jokes for that.
Yeah, I love the fact he turned into the flying hamburger patty.
yeah,
I like how it looks here. I think it looks better than it does in the Bumblebee.
it does.
Figure.
It does. And I also John Bailey, I think, did a good job as as Soundwave. Even though he didn't have the exact filter on his voice that he normally has, but I still think it worked.
Shockwave kind of surprised me. That wasn't very shockwavy at all.
No, it was not.
He came off. Well, he gave me the same vibe the one in Skybound's giving right now.
Yeah.
Same idea.
Yeah, same kind of setup, long legs. It's kind of weird looking.
I did like the way he looked in the movie, in this movie better, personally. And then this is the only one I felt like the character does not look proper.
Was that Chromia?
That's Chromia. It's like,
but it's definitely Mirage.
Yeah,
it's definitely Mirage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, just change the helmet and you've got, Chromia proper. And then Sunstreaker here with the. I didn't mind them using like generic bots, like bodies, because
that looks terrible.
Well,
we
not
gotta start talking about the movie so I can make my joke about this.
Go ahead. What?
No, we gotta wait just so we can get the spoiler territory out of the way.
Braun, I was happy to see. In fact, my son pointed him out and was really happy that it was Braun. So he's like, "It's Braun, yes," because Braun is my son's favorite character. So
wasn't his chest green in the movie?
I think it was.
His chest was green and orange in the movie.
It could have been
greenish color. Yeah, I think his helmet was a little bigger than that too, right? His helmet wasn't that small, I think.
I mean, I could have sworn it was a yellow, chest, but then Sideswipe, we actually saw him like get a cog and at the end and all that, and which was cool.
Seeing him was awesome.
My daughter and I spent that whole movie. There's that guy. There's this guy. There's that guy. Look at this guy.
That was me. I was annoying my family. Look who it is. Look at this. Who's that?
Oh yeah, my kids were just jumping out of their chairs and pointing out characters, and
I was trying to figure out what prime that was. So that was my
bonus.
When I saw that, I thought it was McAdam. I thought it was McAdam when I saw that.
That's what I thought. Yeah, because he's the one that says for Cybertron, right? Then he pops him in his back.
You guys remember that movie way more in detail than I do.
Yeah, he was the one that came down in the middle. He was like, for Cybertron, and then
that's right.
Chemical Prime pops him in the back with his knife or with a sword. Yeah,
remember that now? I've only seen it once.
I've seen it twice.
I've seen it 5 times.
I'm getting ready to go see it again.
There we go. Leland, you're going to be able to narrate the whole thing for us. Right?
Honestly,
man, to your left.
I love the movie. I thought it was.
As long as Quintus is not the originator of the Quintessons, I'm okay with him being one of the 13. So,
excuse me.
I've never been a fan of that part of the origin of the line continuity.
Well, look at his legs. He's kind of walking like him. So
that's flickering again.
I would assume he probably is the origin point for him.
The Quintessons in that movie reminded me of the giant bug things from Dark Crystal.
Yeah, or a little bit. They kind of remind me of the bugs from Starship Troopers.
Oh my gosh, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah. Or I was so happy to see Wheeljack. I'm telling you, it was like, yes, Wheeljack gets his due.
And he didn't have glasses on. It's awesome.
Yes.
Man, I was in there
talking, making fun of nerds character.
I just found it funny that RC got her visor from Rise of the Beast immediately.
When Jazz was kind of hanging out in the back on the train, I'm sitting there while they were talking. When he hit, Pax inside that container when he was running from Darkwing. I said, yo, that's Jazz back there,
Yep.
Chuck. He just
Yeah, my daughter and I were like, "Oh, look, it's Jazz right behind him. Right behind him."
I was so happy that Jazz even got like actually like a kind of a scene because he's saved. You know, he was saved by the heroes of the movie. In mine.
I wonder if he
And-
was ripped apart in the beginning of the movie. It was kind of a homage to 2007 where Megatron ripped him in half.
Yeah.
I hope we get
the MPM does that, right?
I laughed so hard at the AA-tron joke because
oh my god, yeah. So
man.
my family loves Key and Peele. They haven't seen the movie yet, and I haven't told them about because I was like, there's a couple references to old movies, but I have not told them about the AA-tron joke. They are going to lose their shit when they hear
did.
that.
I was the only one laughing in the theater.
My theater
my wife didn't get. My daughter and I were laughing. My wife didn't get it. On the way home, I had to play her the clip from Key and Peele so that she could see what we were laughing at.
I was hoping for one part where Bumblebee would go, "You bitch."
Where is it? There it is. So we'll now start talking about Transformers 1 as a whole, as the movie itself, because figure, the movie itself was really good. Obviously, Leland's seen it 5 times. I've seen it twice. Some of you guys have only seen it once.
I'm going to see it again.
I'm probably going to see it tomorrow again.
I want to try and see it again. I'm going to Mexico in a week, so I want to try and see it again before I go.
There you go. I enjoyed the heck out of the movie. I thought it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I think that there are some things that I kind of wish would have done a little bit differently, but it's me being nitpicky as a whole, But it was overall a good movie, I think.
I think about my only complaint with it would be I wish it was about 10 minutes longer because Megatron's switch I thought was a little quick.
It was
I've heard that, but I didn't feel that way. I thought they told the story well.
You know what?
I do too, but I think it was quick, but I liked it.
Oh, I absolutely loved it. It made sense.
That's how I felt the first time I watched it. The second time I started picking up on the breadcrumbs that were left behind.
Exactly.
You start noticing. You're like, oh wait, okay, this is leading to him for that switch. Because when you first watch it, it hits you in your face, and you're like, whoa, that's really abrupt. Yeah. But then you're like, oh wait, I could see it.
I guess because like my wife felt the same way. She thought that his changeover was a little quick. I guess for me, because I knew where this was going, I was paying attention to Megatron that entire movie, or D6.
Yeah,
I was focusing on him more than anybody else. So I saw all the little clues they dropped throughout the movie, his reactions to things, going, yep, there he is. Oh, look, there he reacted. Oh, look at that. So when it happened, I was kind of already waiting for it to happen.
Yeah, I think the rewatchability of the movie is great, right? Because you're right. When I first noticed something with D16 is when he stated, "My entire life was a lie."
Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. And when he stood up and when he talked to Pax, he was really like, it had this really, abrasive attitude towards him. He was basically saying everything's about you, and when you kind of track it from there, if you could track it from that point, there are some other points like before that time period, but right at that point, you can start seeing, like you said, breadcrumbs of him just transitioning over time.
Yep.
Every time they drop a little bit of history as to what really happened, you can see D16 reacting. You can see his facial expressions are way more intense than everybody else's. Mm-hmm. And you can see his eyes changing colors back and forth throughout this whole thing.
You notice they were slowly
turning red.
Turning red.
Yellow.
Yellow,
orange,
red and orange again. But they would come back until they switched to red and stayed red, which was when he basically told Pax, "I'm done saving you."
Yeah.
And that's what switched, and he stayed red. But throughout the movie, you can see his eyes changing. You can see his expression. So you can see it coming if you're watching him. So, and I think that's why for me it didn't feel rushed because I kind of saw it happening throughout the whole movie.
Yeah,
But
when
you know,
The thing I enjoyed.
that's what I thought the first time. I was like,
Yeah.
that's a little abrupt. But then like that second viewing, I noticed it a lot more. Just that little bit of like, even when he was a minor, even when he was like that first minor, like saving, Orion and going
you see
through.
little nuances of it. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
just
think-
kind of like if
Yeah.
you notice that like he built his entire world around like Megatronus is his hero, and he just like really looks up to Sentinel Prime, and then it's like he meets Sentinel Prime, and then it turns out that he's not really that good.
His
And so it
history,
just
Never meet your heroes.
broke his whole
his
world.
whole
for him.
perspective on the world just folded.
Yeah.
And the
He
thing
had
I
to-
really liked about it,
Point out, and this is something that I'm a War Dawn, like that's like one of my favorite episodes of the G1 cartoon is War Dawn. And I love that origin story for Optimus Prime. Orion Pax, he just he sees Megatron, like, oh my gosh, like who is this Megatron guy? And then Megatron is the one that kills him, and then that's how he becomes Optimus Prime. Well, his best friend is Dion. But if you think about it, Dion, D-I-O, or D-16,
Not right now, Bob. You got-
He
they
won
almost
six,
merged Dion and Megatron into one character.
It's kind of the whole Darth Vader killed Anakin kind of a thing, right? So
Yeah.
Megatron, when he becomes Megatron, he kills Dion.
right?
So there are parallels to that, and I
Yes.
think that's why this movie works so well, because it's the old adage: the road to hell is paved with good intentions.
Yeah.
And you're watching a character. You're introduced to a character that you like. He's a likable character. He's a heroic character, and you really like him, and you really get to feel for him, and you really get to relate for him, and you feel for him as his whole world is falling apart, and ultimately becomes the villain. And that's why this movie is so good, because it's that compelling story of the fall of a hero. They always say, what do people want to see more than a hero? They want to see a hero fall. And
Right.
that's what this movie gives you. You see Megatron starting out as a hero and goes on that journey that eventually leads him to hell.
I think
And that's
it
why this
aligns,
movie's so good.
yeah, I think it aligns
thing-
up perfectly to the way they had the first, Transformers movie aligned up to Star Wars. It's almost as if they took this movie, aligned it up to Revenge of the Sith in a way, and flipped them, right?
Kind of, yeah.
It shows his character flaws. I mean, he had some serious character flaws. First of all, to worship like he worshipped Sentinel Prime so much, you're setting yourself up to be hurt because no one's perfect. Even if he wasn't as evil as he was, sooner or later he would have realized he's not what he thinks he is. And then when you look at it from the standpoint of Megatronus Prime, I still believe that there is something about that transformation call of a Megatronus Prime that's corrupt. Because if you notice, when he put it into his chest, he transformed even more.
Yeah, he did.
Right?
Yeah.
It's almost as if when Pax was turning into Prime, he put the cog in, and then his gun got bigger. It got like that triple threat gun, whatever that was.
Mm-hmm.
Grew a little more, and then he got even more evil, right? I don't know if that has a certain emphasis to this as well, meaning the character itself was already kind of in a way where he could be more exposed to someone like Megatronus Prime switching, just like Sentinel Prime. You see my point? If you have a character flaw, maybe Megatronus is kind of peeping this out, saying Sentinel Prime is one that I can affect, and also D16.
I was just thinking it was because it was the spark or the cog of a prime,
Yeah.
and it just kind of
They
accentuated.
all work.
Yeah,
They
because,
all-
I
I
mean,
mean, got those cogs.
But they put the cogs inside of I think D got what Micronus Prime.
He got my.
He just kind of changed a little bit, right? Yeah. They kind of bumped up, but I don't know if that was. It seems that
That
something
might
going
be
on
a
with Megatronus
thoughtful-
Prime. Go ahead.
But that's too early to see, But the one thing I really liked about it was how wrong I was about how the story was going to progress.
Mhm.
Because when you see all of the trailers, you see that shot of Megatron like going up to Megatronus's or D16 at the time, going up to Megatronus's helmet and like, oh, this is him. And then you see the decal on his arm, but we didn't know it was a decal yet, you know. And then it kind of looked like, oh, I'm a descendant of Megatronus, you know. At the time, that's what I thought.
Right.
No, he's just a really big fan, you know. And that was kind of refreshing to me because it doesn't always have to be everyone's a descendant of some prime, you know, which was nice to know. But
I tell you, the
I
biggest
really liked that
surprise.
part, and then I
saw
also
that
really
part, yeah.
liked the fact that
I might be
lose
going
Bert.
to
Yeah.
uh-oh.
You might lose Bert.
I tell you what impressed
I
me
really
most
liked the
of that
fact that they
movie
weren't
was
after the Matrix. Like they were, but they weren't, you know, because like once they get up there, it's not there, you know, and it's nowhere to be found. And then it changes the story a little bit, which was nice.
Hey, real quick before the hurricane takes me out. My one and only gripe, and it was a really minor non-gripe, is that Alita 1 should not have been Alita 1. She should have been
Ariel. Yes, 100%.
Alita 1 did not become Alita 1 until she was rebuilt, which happened after Orion Pax was rebuilt in the Prime. That was my only gripe. Other than that, I was like, the rest of the movie's perfect.
We need Grimlock.
That doesn't bother me much. Because like every other continuity besides G1, she's almost always Alita 1.
Like I said,
anyway.
minor, non.
My other thing with her
like the only
was that her
nitpick I had.
attitude. I didn't mind the fact that she was kind of bossy because she was already a commander or a leader or whatever, but I didn't like how there was just something about that line when she said, "I'm better than you in every way." Like there was just something about that line.
Personality of like strong arm in RID.
That's a woke thing to me. That's this whole woke notion that's out there that kind of pushes stuff in certain
I
negatives.
liked
more of a strong arm.
I liked it.
Attitude.
I liked it because it kind of fed into the fact that like everything kept going wrong for her because she was too overconfident, you know. She just kept falling on her face over and over and over, and then finally when she got to the very bottom, she climbed back up.
The power.
Yeah,
that was good.
It was almost though is like if you think about it though, it's not as bad when you think about it because basically she's trying to show that she's the best in every way, but in reality she's always falling flat on her face until she actually has Orion inspiring hope in her. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She's overconfident.
Until
that's really what it is. She's
optimism. Inspiring optimism.
Yeah.
She's overly confident and a cynic at the same time. And then then she finally meets Orion and has the whole experience, and it kind of changes her a little bit, which is good.
Which is a good thing. It's a good thing that she kind of progressed as it turned into a better character, I think, is like after that scene, because she was just really bossy, but then she kind of got like knocked on her back, and then she kind of overcame that in a way. So it's kind of like
I did like the running joke of her punching people in the face though to get
yeah. So let's talk about the Decepticons.
I'll tell you what, she woke up a little bit when you figure if Prime didn't come through the floor like that, she wouldn't have lived because Megatron he was about to kill her. He was like this close.
Yep.
Prime bust through. He saved her, and I think after that, you kind of saw her kind of dial down a little bit when they showed the scene of him saying, "Hey, I need you to be my commander," or general as such. But go ahead.
Where did the whole origin of Alita 1 being Ariel? There's an episode of the original G1 cartoon called War Dawn. And then the follow-up episode to that, I would say, is The Search for Alpha Trion. Those are the two episodes in which connect or have a connective tissue with each other. Because in War Dawn is the aerial bots go back in time and they go back to the golden age of Cybertron. And you have this warehouse worker named Orion Pax, his best friend Dion, and his girlfriend is named Ariel. and they are oblivious to what's going on in the real world because they're blue collar workers. They're just regular everyday folks, right? So they're like, oh, those robots over there, they're just the
flying robots.
Decepticons. They can
The new
fly.
flying
Megatron
robot.
is their leader, right? So Megatron comes in and he's like, oh, well, what do you store here? Oh, energy. And then so Megatron basically, right from their original meeting, he blasts and kills Ariel, then shoots and kills Orion Pax, and then has the Decepticons kill the rest of the warehouse workers, including Dion. And so the aerial bots bring Orion Pax to a younger Alpha Trion who rebuilds Orion Pax into Optimus Prime. And from there, at the tail end of that episode, or that whole scene, Alpha Trion says, a female warrior. I'll call her Elita 1. So Ariel gets rebuilt into Elita 1 after this, in between that episode and, future, time. But then the search for Alpha Trion is the reuniting of Optimus Prime and Elita 1 after so many years, and it's like they never left. And it was like a separated love. Because Elita 1's character was created by Beth Bornstein to be Optimus Prime's girlfriend. That was the whole purpose of her creating Elita 1, was to create that character. So
now that was another thing I did like, the fact that they didn't have a romance. I did like that.
Yeah, Orion Pax built something into Elita 1 where she was compatible with Optimus, and she had like something
the power core. The power core was compatible with each other. Yeah. So that's how he saved her in the end. Or that's how she saved him.
Yeah. Well, but the thing is though, is like my daughter, she was like, "Oh, are they going to get together? I can't wait till they get together." So that was my daughter's reaction to Elita 1 and Optimus Prime at the end.
I think that's coming next time. I think that's coming in too. Yeah.
So I think that they're going to. I'm glad they didn't do it right away. Like they have it progress. Like that's probably a better way to do it. Just storytelling wise. But let's talk about the High Guard.
Well, talking about the sequel, I think I would love for this to, if we get a sequel, God willing, I would love to see it go Empire Strikes Back, because we need to see the rise of Megatron, because Megatron is going to take over. Yeah. He's going to almost destroy Cybertron.
Yep.
Because I was getting ready to say earlier, the biggest surprise for me of this movie was how this movie surprised me, because it wasn't nothing like I was expecting. I knew it wasn't going to be as kiddie as it first went on. But if you think about this movie, start off first 30 minutes, this is a kid-friendly movie, and then turn dark quick.
It turned left quick, man.
Yeah. No, it did. The darkest part for me,
SpongeBob to Training Day.
The darkest part for me was, someone said it earlier, the scene of Megatron ripping Sentinel Prime in half, and then the crowd just went nuts, and I was just like, okay, this just
first time
took a turn.
In one of our streams.
You want to know what they did? Right? You want to know what they did? They did the same thing with this movie that they did with 1986. 1986 kids came in with a certain mindset that's going to be a kid movie. It turned into more mature. It's kind of similar here, right? You come in, people think kid movie, like, whoa, what the heck? This is not a kid's movie anymore. Especially when you ripped in people in half and blown holes with people.
And once again, the marketing screwed this movie up. If they had shown that first trailer what this actually was, instead of it's Minions with Transformers, then maybe it would have more of a crowd going to it right now.
Yep.
Very true. Yeah, I agree. I think more than
I think it'll pick up.
Yeah. I think the word of mouth is going to help it out. But you mentioned the High Guard. Interesting way of putting the Decepticons.
Yes. Yeah. That was a fantastic way to introduce who would become the Decepticons. I thought that was brilliant. That was so.
I wrote a script one time back in college for Transformers. Matter of fact, I still have it. And I actually went up to Pawtucket, Rhode Island, and tried to give it to Hasbro when I was still, trying to do something in this thing. And I remember I had wrote the Decepticons as being this defense group called the Ajits. It was really similar. So when I seen it, I was like, wow, they were just like high command group that was kind of trying to fight against what was going on in society. And I didn't have Megatron as leading them. I had this character called Cronus that Megatron comes in and then kills. And then he takes him over. If you look at how how Megatron came in and basically tried to kill Starscream, it was really similar. But it was a great way to kind of show them they're this massive, defense group that's trying to fight against what the Sentinel Prime was. So technically, they're not bad. They're just trying to say, hey, we don't like what he's doing either.
They do have a mindset, though, that does make up the Decepticon hierarchy, and then Starscream mentions it. He says it's one bot over another, and that it's at that moment that Megatron's just like, all right, one bot over another.
Yeah. All right, let's go.
Literally, like he's already basically turning from that point because he had gotten his cog and whatever, and then he meets up with the Decepticons, and that's when he beats the snot out of Starscream, and it's satisfying. It's a satisfying fight because the two of them really do go at each other in such a cool way. And then
Starscream is actually taller than him,
and it's just like, whoa, Like
Starscream was actually taller than him at that time because you remember he walks up on him. He was actually tall, but that was crazy how his gun disappeared out of nowhere. And I think he looked at it and was like, what the heck is this? And he said, okay, I know exactly what to do with this.
I love that he gives Starscream his scratchy voice.
Yeah.
And Steve Buscemi as Starscream, come on, that was brilliant.
That was great.
Yeah.
Now, one thing I was going to add is I like that they're the High Guard because it sets up precedents for the Decepticons being, what would I say? More combatant superior, I guess, was what you would say.
They're conquerors, yeah.
Yeah, they're more because they've got advanced weapons, they've got the weaponry and everything, and they're bigger, and it makes more sense that that's why they're more fighter oriented.
It ties back to G1 because Starscream was always touting that he was the commander of some Cybertronian elite force. Or I don't remember.
Air Commander.
Joe remembers the name, but this ties right into that. He's like, okay, that's what it is. He was the commander of the High Guard. It tied in perfectly. I thought it was very good storytelling. I thought very good writing.
There was a lot of Marvel G1 in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, I would say it was a good mix.
And I
enjoyed
it.
Definitely a mix of lore. There was a mix of G1 comic, G1 cartoon, IDW,
Cybertron,
all smashed into one continuity to try and tell a whole new universe.
There was a lot of Cybertron reference too, especially at the beginning.
Oh, when he transforms, when Primus transforms.
Yeah, that as well as the surface, the stuff on the surface looked a lot like Cybertron in the Cybertron show when they had fixed it, when they'd fixed the planet. There was of course some Bayverse references with Sentinel's double blade.
Yeah.
Bumblebee's design with the
helmet.
Do you notice that those popped out of his head when he get excited?
Yeah.
Little things would pop out.
Also, the other thing is putting the tape over his mouth. And having because he talks all the time.
Yeah.
What I loved about that was a dig at Bayverse.
Yeah.
For making it where he would never ever be able to talk.
Why is his mouth taped up? Because he wouldn't shut up. Like even when he was passed out, especially when he was passed out.
Especially when he was unconscious.
Yeah, that was great. That was absolutely.
I just loved. That's another thing that this movie's starting to push is I like flustered Shockwave. I like when he gets worked up, which you see it some in G1 too when the Combaticons show up.
Yep.
But I just like to watch Shockwave just because he's so cold all the time. I like when people push his buttons.
Yep.
I think our hurricane is messing up Treebot's signal.
And he's not even in the zone.
I saw somebody state that they didn't like the organic material. If you notice, Pax kind of mentioned, he's like, "What is this stuff?"
Yeah.
He kind of
Almost as if the
roughed his
surface is
hand
not
over
I
it.
supposed
didn't
to
think
have
of
that growing
Energon.
area.
Like it didn't occur to me that it was Energon until Treebot said so just now. When I saw it originally, I thought of the end of Beast Machines when Cybertron was both organic, techno and organic. That's what I thought of originally. But now that Treebot says that, I'm like, yeah, that's a good tie-in to Energon too.
Mm-hmm.
It is, and I think too.
Organic
If
matter.
you kind of think about it,
That's a good way to look at
you
it, too.
have if you have a planet, right, that's going through space and it's completely metal, it's going to pick up some level of organic, material.
Mm-hmm.
I think they really brought that in well because if you think about it, if you have a beast machines type mindset, if the Maximals do come, they kind of had some beast swarms on the Cybertron as well. I think that was good. It was so well thought that they said even though this is a fully metal planet, you're going to have some type of organic material here. This thing's in space. It's picking up matter as it's flying through space. Has to be something on here. I think
That
they
definitely got that vibe from him.
Not to mention with the other aliens visiting the planet, who knows what they've been dropping.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's true. Yes, great point.
At the end of the day, it shows that they put a lot of care into this movie.
Mm-hmm.
The writers, the people involved in making this movie, they were not just slapping Transformers' name on something to put asses in seat. They really put thought and effort into this, and it really shows when you watch that movie.
Yep.
But you know what? You know what I think is hurting it now. And I talked to Rob about this earlier this week. There's so much damn Transformer stuff out here. You have Cyberverse, you got the live action, you got it's so much that I took my whole family to this thing. Like I spent a crap load of money. I took my mom, my aunt, my sons, my daughter, grandkids, everything. Right? And we go in there, and for the first time, like I always take them out to a Transformers movie. For the first time, I didn't have to explain anything to them. They got it, beginning to end. They got it. I think there's a lot of confusion out here. There's so many different continuities going on. Someone they come in and say, okay, well, how does this fit into Bumblebee? How does this fit into Rise of the Beast, which it came out last year? I think that's the problem. In terms of people saying, I want to go and see a Transformers movie, they can't follow the storyline. I mean, for me as a Transformers fan, sometimes I get confused. I think they need to find a way to maybe stop the live action movies. And if they're going to go forward with one. I think this is a good start. But right now, that might be what would be causing some people to not go to the movie theaters. The fact that they're like, I didn't understand the Rise of the Beast or Bumblebee. Why would I give them another try?
Right. Yeah.
That and the fact that most movies anymore are on your streaming platforms within 2 months.
That's very true.
This one's already only 1 month.
But they're saying October 10th they're going to have it out on the streaming platform.
20th, really? I think it is.
October 20th.
Yeah. Wow. Like it's barely a month.
I didn't hear that yet. Wow.
And it's like, no, guys, you guys need to see this movie in the theater because it's not going to make its money back in streaming. In streaming, it has to make its money back. Not just by ticket sales, but also from toy sales. Like the toys have to sell, and I think the toys are going to sell it. Like I do.
Oh, they definitely are. They're great. They're fantastic.
And so I think that the toys are doing well, at least in that regard. But like looking at Box Office Mojo right now,
got my first toy here. It just came in.
I got them today too.
Looking at Box Office Mojo, I'm just going to.
They haven't made an Elita 1 figure.
So look at this right here. The box office total is 29,000 or 29 million domestically, but it hasn't opened up worldwide.
Oh no, not even close. Yeah. China hasn't even gotten it yet, which I know for a fact that once China gets it, it's going to go up. It's definitely going to go up once China gets it.
China.
Did we lose one? No. Okay. So, hold on.
Oh, while you're looking, one of the things I read earlier was they're thinking it's possible this movie could go the way Into the Spider-Verse went, because that movie bombed opening weekend. Because, we had, like you said, we've got tons of Spider-Man movies, tons of Marvel movies. People didn't know where this was going to fit in.
Yep.
Once they realized this is a brand new thing, word of mouth got out, more people went to see it.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, good point.
That's a big thing, because Into the Spider-Verse was such a big deal. I mean, it even got an Oscar nomination.
Mm-hmm.
And Bert, did it win? Do you know?
No idea.
Did it win?
You know who would know? Carmen!
Yes. Yep.
Carmen!
Yep.
Mayor!
So
I should have been like, ask Carmen, because I know Carmen.
But I think that this because the good word of mouth, I think people are going to go see it this weekend. At least I hope. But there is a Pixar movie apparently opening this weekend too.
Yeah, it's a
Carmen,
movie.
did the Spider-Verse, the first Spider-Verse movie, did it win an Oscar? By the way, hello.
I don't know.
How do you not know this? How dare you?
I know
Somebody get it on Google. We're all on a computer.
I'm doing it right now.
If it did, it might have been for score, because I know the score is acclaimed.
Best animated feature of 2019.
Wow.
So one.
How did you not know that?
The first one was good.
Bert, the movie that they're talking about, it's this DreamWorks movie about a robot.
Yeah.
That's what it's going to be competing.
That looks so good. I want to see it. Wild Robot.
It's got Pedro Pascal.
Yeah.
I'm so watching that.
Good cast. I'm excited. Both Spider-Verse movies are fantastic. I will take no slander of either, because they are artistry.
It looks good, but it's not Transformers.
It's not Transformers 1. This is a better movie.
All right, gentlemen, I have got to cut out.
Thanks, Carmen.
How dare you?
Hey, you're always leaving my streams early.
Yeah. Megatron's rise to being a villain was definitely good.
Hey, Patriot Prom, are you coming to TFCon?
Yeah.
All right, I'll be there.
I'll be there. Treebot, you coming too?
What's up?
I'm trying to work that out, because I
Treebot's
can't
gonna be playing basketball.
Nope, I'm not. No, I'm not.
You're not?
Oh, damn, Jay just jumped out.
So
Jay had to go. He was getting hailed.
I can go. I just have to figure out if I should go, because not for reasons of it's TFCon, but just budgetary, because I've already been invited to go to BotCon in June. I just would rather I might have to prepare for that too.
Okay.
But that is Baltimore is on the table.
Unfortunately for me, it is not this time around.
Yeah, unfortunately, we know why.
Yeah, I'll be there.
But I'm gonna try and bring 3 crates worth of Transformers toys to sell, and I'm gonna try and see if I can squeeze to fit that scooter.
All right. Well, like I said, if you can, I can always come down.
Okay.
Yeah, I could, but it won't be until probably the holidays when I'll be able to drive down.
Let me know. We'll do something, because I'm only 45 minutes away from Joe.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, definitely.
I now have annual passes to Busch Gardens. So
because I've got passes. I've got year-round passes. So let me know, and if you guys want to do something.
So wait a minute, you're not too far from Fort McDill?
No. I'm an hour north of Tampa. I'm up in,
I'm down in McDill a lot. I mean, not in the past 6 months. I've been elsewhere, but I went down at McDill. You probably know what I really can't speak towards it, but I'm down there a lot.
Yeah, I've worked in Tampa for the last 20 years up until COVID, and I've been working from home ever since. But I'm just an hour north.
Okay,
so I think the next movie is going to be versus the Quintessons. I think they're going to try to fight the Quintessons in the next movie.
Yeah. Well, I think what you said about making it Empire Strikes Back, that really makes sense. There's the full we need a whole fall of Cybertron, the end of the Golden Age, fall of Cybertron, leave us where G1 starts.
Yeah,
Where
you go.
Cybertron is just decimated, the Decepticons are the ruling force, and the Autobots are just scattered, hiding underground, like the Force is trying to fight the Terminator.
Yeah. And I think the one thing that did bother me about this movie, like I still think it's the best Transformers we've gotten, period. But I did not like the fact that they did not resolve the Quintessons yet. I would have liked them to do that in this movie. That was the only thing I didn't like.
I think it's meant for the second one, like you stated. I think it's meant to, because if you look at what Prime stated at the end, he's saying they're going to fight the Quintessons.
Yep.
He's not even thinking about Megatron. He thinks he's solved that problem.
Right.
You're banished. No, you're out of here. Now our focus is, hey, Quintessons, we're going to take care of you. And my theory is in the second movie, that's going to switch, because he's going to realize, wait a minute, Megatron is the real threat. And now we have to turn into a wartime on this planet where really, the Autobots going to have to fight this new force.
Yeah.
So I think you're going to see it, as you stated.
At some point, the Quintessons are going to be driven out of Cybertron.
Right.
So, we're throwing theories out here. My theory would be Autobots and Quintessons are fighting. Autobots are being decimated. Decepticons come in for the good of Cybertron. Decepticons are going to come in. They're going to drive the Quintessons out. They're going to save the day. But now there's a lot fewer Autobots because they got decimated by the Quintessons. Decepticons came, they saved the day, and they've basically taken over Cybertron, and Cybertron's left in ruins. And
I can see this happening too.
That would be so perfect. It would be such a perfect in between TF1 and G1.
Yeah. Well, it's a new G1.
Look, the bad guys won, and we're screwed, and it would leave us with that dark ending. It would be so good.
And they could totally do the whole the one thing I did enjoy about the War for Cybertron trilogy is the whole murder cult thing that the Decepticons had going on, where like they already had the whole planet to themselves and everything. That would totally set that whole thing up and have the Autobots underground. And now that they're outmatched, what do we do now?
That will be the only continuity that this could match up to.
Yeah.
Right. Out of all of them, if you were to try to connect it to one, I'm not saying that they are, but that Netflix series is kind of at the end point. I could see them maybe trying to tie it up to that if they wanted. But again, that's a whole nother continuity. I've seen people they're just confused. They don't know what to follow.
Yeah. I think that's what the other thing was, is that first trailer was very kiddie. Mm-hmm. It kind of was setting up to be this kids movie. And they were like, I don't want to see a kids Transformers movie. And it's like, come on, Transformers started as a kid's toy line.
Yeah. So,
but at the same time, it needed something, a fresh start, because you had all the so many restarts with Transformers, but you needed a better start theatrically, and I think this is a great beginning. You know what I kind of think of like with this movie? There's two things that are going through my mind with this movie. Number one is the changes in continuity with changing the timelines and or like trying to like add things in, is kind of like Batman '89. Mm-hmm. In how Joe, instead of having Joe Chill kill Batman's parents, it was Joker who killed Batman's parents. And then Batman Begins with Ra's al Ghul actually being Ducard, like them being one and the same character. Like they kind of merged the two characters together. But this is kind of like a brand new, start in that same way. It's not connected to the Bay films. It's not connected to G1. I mean, it's taking from them. It's taking from all those continuities, but it's doing this brand new start in a way that it's not really a kids movie. It's kind of more so like it's Transformers that works as a narrative story for everybody, and I think it does a great job at that. Personally, I gave the movie an 8. You know, I think that the movie had some flaws, like some of the storytelling. Like, remember Jay was talking about the, you know, the turn from Megatron was a little abrupt, and it did feel that way. And I think that's kind of like where like I was like, maybe it's a 7.5, and then like when I watched it a second time, I was like between 7.5, 8.5. I think okay, maybe it's an 8. It's definitely an 8. Like it's a good, solid number to give the film, because there's just certain things that like could have been done a little bit better. But at the end of at the end of the day, it was a very enjoyable film. I think a lot more people should see it in the theater. And the kid, my kids had a great time watching it. The only thing that we have to do is for the one joke for Bumblebee is we have to say bad Bumbumatron.
Not
right.
Yeah,
because my kids are currently watching.
But I'll say this, man. I gave it a 10.
Mm-hmm.
Gave it a 10. I'm a hard.
Yeah, so did I.
Yeah, I gave it a 10. Now, I'm not saying, Rod, that you're wrong. That movie was so well orchestrated in terms of its process and growing out the characters, putting enough time into each one, convoluting the storylines together to make them, relatable to each other. And then, as you stated, that transition with Megatron, you could feel it. I mean, I could look in my life now and find, you know what, this person betrayed me. I thought this person was that way. And how that might have some level of effect upon me. So I could relate to it. And most people in the movie that came out was like, you know what? I understand. It was almost as if the same way people looked at Darth Vader different after they understood the Anakin Skywalker story, people looked at Megatron very different now that they know the D16 story.
Mm-hmm.
He's not, you kind of,
yeah,
you know what I mean? He's really relatable. I get why he turned into a psychopath. As crazy as it is,
and did it well and were very successful.
Mm-hmm.
Was the Ninja Turtle series that came out in 2012, the Nickelodeon CGI Turtles?
Yes,
yeah,
that was the Turtles I grew up with.
They told their own story. It was a whole new story, but they took all the best parts out of every Turtles continuity that had come out from that point, and they acknowledged so if no matter what continuity Turtles you were a fan of, you were acknowledged in that series. Like, hey, look, we're making this for you. We're making it for them too. We're making it for everybody.
Yeah.
And they paid respect and they acknowledged all the different continuities, brought all of the best elements to tell a whole new thing, just like Joe said a moment ago. And it's widely considered the best Turtle show.
Oh, it's so good. It is so good.
Some people think 2003 is, but I agree with you. Yeah.
And this movie did that too.
Yeah. Some people think the 2003 Turtles, but I agree with you with the 2012 Turtles being a really good, like paying so much homage to the original. And then for this movie too, for Transformers, I think did a good job of that too. Just really bringing in to bring in new fans and make the older fans like us happy. I think that's really the biggest problem in Hollywood, is that they don't know how to we want to make it for a new audience, but we want to screw over the old audience in a lot of movies, and TV shows and comic books and everything. And it's like, you can't do that. You've got to keep the older fans hooked.
And they rub it in the old fans' face.
Yeah.
It's almost like they rub it.
That's how I felt with Star Wars.
We're making this for you. Don't screw yourself. This is for a new audience. If you don't like it, it's not for you. It's like they rub it in your face.
Yeah, and they've been doing that.
That's how I felt about late Star Wars with the Disney Star Wars. With how the character assassination of Luke Skywalker, regardless of how you feel about it, I felt like they were doing that for that reason. It's like, this is a new story. We're going with it this way. We're not going to acknowledge what you think. We don't care. We're doing it this way.
Basically do character assassination.
And then the push was so hard.
This movie knows that it's starting a new continuity, but it's doing it in a way that is paying respect to what came before and doing it in a way to try and like bring it into a brand new story moving forward that we can all
that
get into
everyone can
and
get on board with.
enjoy. Even and here's the thing: if the movie was tied to the original, like to another continuity, they would. I guarantee you, they would have tried to make sure that it all connected properly.
Oh,
But
they
in
would have
this case,
jammed
being
it
a new
into
continuity
place.
and going forward, they did a great job for a fresh start, and I think that's what did so well. And they wanted to make a movie for new fans and old fans alike. That's the key. That is the key that I feel that Transformers needed more than anything else. Like Skybound, I think is doing that really well in the
Oh,
comic
yes.
books. I think that movie, the Studio Trigger video was such a great, celebration.
That's one of the greatest things
Oh yeah,
that's
and then
come
this
out
movie,
in the recent years.
definitely was made for old fans and new fans alike, and that's something that Transformers has needed for so long. Because I know you're a big fan of the Bay films, Treebot, but you know how you understand why us old fans don't like it. Like you understand, you know what I mean? Like that was
For the
feeling.
most part. For the
But
most
you know what I mean?
part,
Like that's the
yes.
feeling from 2007 that I never felt like I can connect to that continuity. Whereas this time I'm like, this is where we can really move forward. We can all enjoy it. We can all like it, and it's a really good step in the right direction. So
If you look around my room, at some point I'm not going to show it. I have every continuity in here. I have G1. I have the trilogy from Cybertron. I have the movies are inside my living room and everything. Right. The one thing I say is what I am very thankful for is the fact that they kept something around with Transformers for 40 years, except for 2 years and the 89, 90 when it kind of died off and then came back with Generation 2. Every single year we've had something, right? Something that a fan from that generation can kind of pull from. What I do agree with, outside of maybe the Bay films, there's no Bay film stuff outside of beside of the little bumblebee antennas popping up. I believe every fan from every continuity can look at this film and say, I see something in here that I can like and can move forward on. This is the first time I've ever seen a work within Transformers that kind of pulls it all together and shows it in a way where we can all relate to it, right? Like I said, outside of the Bay films, because those designs are kind of out there, and I'm actually thankful for the Bay films. I mean, movies that make billions of dollars helps us out.
brought in new fans. It's great that it brought in new fans.
Yeah, I mean that's my jump in point.
Right.
That's why Bayverse has it has its own spot in my room. There's a full shelf over there dedicated just to my Bayverse collection from my childhood, the MPMs, because that is a very sacred part of the whole franchise to me. Not just because I like it, because I do like it, but it's also because it's where I jumped in. And without the Bayverse, there wouldn't be any Energon. There would not be any Prime for me. There would not be any Fall of Cybertron games. There would not be anything for me. There wouldn't be any of that. And the most important part to me,
we know how much you like that toy.
There would be no meeting you guys at TFCon. There would be none. There would be no YouTube for me if it wasn't for that 2007 movie.
Respect. Yeah. I'll give it to you.
And like I said, I mean, I know how much you enjoy it, but what I'm trying to get you to understand is there's a reason why many of the old hats look at it with the way that they do, even if you like it. And look how radically different those two bots that are on, Bert is holding. They're so very, very different from each other.
They're both right here next to me all day, every day.
Good night, Daddy.
Oh, somebody's going.
Gonna have to have my kids come in and say hi.
Good night.
Good night.
Night.
Good night, night.
I'll be right back. Come on.
And I would genuinely go to even say that that would
have been great.
The stack up or the build up with how the Bayverse fans and how G1 fans look at each of the continuities, hey Carmen, are not entirely dissimilar. There's a lot of Venn diagram going on in that that can be found, like common ground that can be found there,
Yeah.
and that's
Bert is
why you
transformed.
just need to enjoy it.
This is my stream now. I've actually taken it over, and I rule this space now. This is mine.
Is your dad? Did you kill your dad?
Yes, I did. I took the spot. Long live the king.
Carmen, can you let the dogs out, please?
Yes.
He lives. He lives.
This is my stream now. I'm taking it over.
You want me to send you the
Yes.
link so you can jump in?
No, I'm studying.
Oh, yeah. Good job studying.
I know.
Don't worry, Carmen. I already studied. I studied for you.
What the
I
hell?
have a test tomorrow.
I have 3 exams.
We're not
next
going to
week.
be on much longer.
I have one.
I have 3 exams next week.
Oh, but you got
I have one. I have one.
Shut the door.
Yeah, one what?
One exam tomorrow.
One exam? Cool.
Yeah.
Everything she said is a lie.
He doesn't have 3 exams?
She said everything
while I was
great
out.
about you, man. That's a lie.
I don't know what she said about me, but it's a lie.
Oh man. That's hilarious.
So honestly, do you guys think that the box office, if it goes bad, do you think this is it? I mean, I'm hearing all kind of flops, and which to me, I think is unfair. It's not a flop in the movie. It's just that if you bring out a movie in September, 2 weeks after school starts in some parts of the country, and then you expect it to make money after you brought out a movie last year, which is completely different from the movie, and then you operate it as a kids movie. Come on.
Exactly. Yeah, that was the big thing for me. Is we have 2 completely different movies a year apart, but at the same time, I think it's too close to call. It's been 4 days and people are already calling this a flop. That's what's irritating the crap out of me. You know, it's,
oh my God, there's I'm not gonna name the group, but there's a group on Facebook. Like I wasn't even going there looking for this stuff. It was just popping up on my feed, and there was some individuals in this group that every day, all day, every day, just bad mouthing the movie, talking about how horrible it was and how it's flopping in theater, and they haven't seen it, and they're out stating, "I am not going to see it because it's horrible, and it's flopping. Look how terrible it's doing," and everybody else is like, "We've all seen it, and we thought it was great. We don't know what you're talking about."
Yeah.
Hey, it was this one YouTuber, I forgot his name, I'm not going to mention it, where he said that Hasbro stock is tanking because of this. Right now, I'm a guy that watches stocks. I went on there, it went down by like 99 cents, right? And it's up from the beginning of the year by like 43% since January. I don't call that a tanking stock if it dropped by 99
Bear in mind, they also just
Look,
announced
the
new
houses are
Star Wars
boarded up.
stuff.
Everybody panic.
They just now announced new Star Wars stuff, so that's probably why it went down 99 cents.
Yeah. It's like a little tiny stuff and say, hey, Hasbro stock is tanking because of Transformers 1 flopping.
No. I think here's the thing. The movie opened.
They call themselves fans, but they want it to fail.
Right.
I don't get it.
I think what it is 2 things. People saw that it was an animated movie, and some people are just not, want to see an animated movie. Number 2, that first trailer.
Yeah.
3, made it seem very kiddie. The third thing is that people don't like the fact that it's all Hollywood celebrities doing the voices, which I'm glad that Peter Cullen was willing to do training for Chris Hemsworth to get a better Optimus
that was
Prime.
cool.
But I think that I would have wished that if Peter Cullen made a cameo doing Optimus Prime like later on, this is where we were where it was Peter Cullen now as Optimus, to let you know that time has progressed. But maybe that'll happen, maybe that'll happen, in the next movie. Because Peter Cullen's still willing to voice Optimus. Frank Welker is still willing to voice Megatron. But they did a good job. I think they did a good job. But I think
Brian
the other thing is
Tyree
that the movie opened. It opened in September. Now it's not the summer. The summer is when most people go to the movies, on a weekend, and that's when you care about the opening weekend. It's a September release. And anything from September through
November.
February,
Yeah.
movies tend to take a couple of weeks before they start to become profitable.
Well, kids are back in school.
Yes, because kids are back in school.
It just irritated me. Like I said, that they called it people were calling it a flop within
the reason why they're
48
calling it a flop
hours.
also is because a certain movie is opening this weekend, which is Wild Robot.
Yeah.
And you heard Bert's daughter say, I really have to see it. Looks like a work of art. So she doesn't care about Transformers. So she might not be inclined.
Oh, she cares about Transformers.
Well, I mean, I know because we're all nerds here, but you know what I mean? Like you understand what I mean? Like typically people are not going to necessarily be as interested in seeing a Transformers movie. Mm-hmm. And also because it's Transformers, because say what you will, like, but the last couple of, Transformers movies kind of didn't really hit the mark for getting
Transformers 5. My God, what a travesty that was.
I don't want to talk about it. I don't want
last
to
night
talk about
a
it.
movie that a certain person who doesn't believes is a good movie. I don't. There are some people who think that the Last Night was actually a good movie. I don't get it.
Now I know what you're talking about. I think you got a little misconstrued on that one. They liked parts of it, just not all of it.
Well,
there's some things they found good things about it.
For the Bayverse fans that are hating on this movie because it's animated, guess what? The Bay movies are animated too.
Yeah,
straight.
You're still watching cartoon, dumbass.
Now, the one thing I did want to mention that's funny, my theater booed when Lorenzo di Bonaventura's name went across the credits.
Really?
Oh yeah,
that's funny.
Yeah, they clapped for Michael Bay and they booed for Bonaventura.
They booed for Michael Bay in my theater as well.
Yeah, they clapped for Bay in mine. They booed Bonaventura.
I don't think nobody knew who it was. I came out of the Pentagon and went. They had like a showing down in DC, and I don't think nobody knew who they were. And then I went again, of course, and sake of the families. I don't think nobody knew. And then you know what? One more complaint. I think it was way too damn long for that last scene. It was so far down that people were leaving. They should have pulled
the post credits. Yes.
Yeah. It was way too far down.
Post credit scene. That just needed that needed to be the last scene of the movie before the credits.
Yeah. I think that was a big mistake in it because I had to tell people, wait. They're like, why? I said, there's a post credit.
Yeah.
Don't leave.
Yeah, you sit there and you wait for it, and then when you get it, you're like, that was my reaction to that last scene was like, that was it. I already knew this. Like I didn't know it word for word, but come on, we're fans. We kind of knew where this was going.
Mm-hmm.
That really did not need to be a post credit scene.
No,
it just needed to be the last.
There was a girl in our theater that stood up when the credits were rolling. Goes, nobody move. There's a post credit scene. Everybody sit down.
There were two. End credit scenes.
We went to a private screening, and there was only like 60-something people, and the person who put together the screening was telling people, "Don't leave. There are two post credit scenes," and people were leaving anyway.
Yeah.
So.
Wow.
It was not the payoff, to wait all through the credits for that last scene.
Longer than
it should have been the little. It should have been the little like graphical credits, and then play that, and then do the scrolling credits. That's the way it should have been.
They didn't. The Bumblebee one when he killed Steve, he did the.
Knife hands.
Yeah, knife hands. They should have put the whole Megatron, the Decepticons rise up at that point.
Yeah, before that, and then let the Steve one go last.
Yeah. Let me touch on what the Melver just said. So we started watching The Last Night as a movie. We got about 30 minutes into it, and my family asked me, can we watch something else? And I agreed. It was horrible. We turned it off. About a week later, the whole family was out. And I said, you know what? I'm going to sit down now that I'm by myself. I'm going to power through it. I'm going to watch the whole thing. Maybe no. It was just nonsensical.
Now, I have to express this as the main Bayverse fan in the group. I have to express this feeling about that movie. we had such high expectations going into that film, from the trailer to the lead up and all the stuff that they had announced, because like they'd given this movie more press support than anyone before that. And going into it, we were like, oh, this thing's gonna show so much about the robots and everything. It gets like 20 minutes in, and you feel okay when the TRF shows up, but as soon as that scene's over, it's like, what are we watching?
Yeah, the whole
what
movie
are we
was like,
watching?
what is this?
And the only thing that I enjoy out of the rest of it is Bumblebee's design, Nitro Zeus, Megatron's design, and Anthony Hopkins' performance. His performance in that movie is great.
Optimus isn't in the whole movie until like the last
Optimus is in the last 45 minutes, and that's it.
That's it.
But
and I'm not a Baver's hater. I am not a Baver's hater. But I will hate on TF5.
Yeah, I hate that movie.
That movie was awful.
Because the best way to watch the Bayverse is watch the first 3 and go to sleep. Don't watch the other 2.
Go to Bumblebee.
Yeah, go to Bumblebee.
Go to Bumblebee.
But I'm telling you, the damage and the reason why it turned out so bad is because Michael Bay didn't want to make it in the first place.
Yeah,
Paramount mandated him to make that movie. He's like, you know what? If you're gonna make me make this movie, I'm gonna make it a complete parody of itself, and you'll see.
He said
how it feels.
Before the fourth movie came out, I can make a terrible movie, and they'll still go see it. And the fourth movie made a lot of money, enough to make a fifth movie.
The fourth movie's fine to me. Like I have a lot about the fourth movie I enjoy, but
they ruined those.
It's not good. And it leads into the fifth movie.
Well, you know what? Honestly, I don't even think it leads into the fifth because I don't see no kind of connection outside of Prime freezing up in space.
That's it.
And like, there's no other real connection to it.
There's no payoff. There's no payoff with that movie.
Yeah, and it was so bad that honestly, they made Cybertron look like the evil planet, and Unicron was a good planet.
Yeah,
right. Because Cybertron.
To what Grimlock just said, that was the fourth movie.
Yeah,
the whole Age of Consent thing, and that was after they tricked you into looking at a 17-year-old ass.
Yes,
like he did a close.
I don't like to think about that.
And that's right. Looking at her ass, and then after that, they go, "Oh, by the way, she's 17."
That's true.
Yeah.
I forgot about
exactly.
that. Yeah, that was kind of heinous.
And the thing about the first 3 is like the first 3 have other media that back it up and make it better.
Was a teenager too when the 2007 movie came out.
Well, the first movie they were in high school, and the second movie they had graduated high school, and that's where they had her on the motorcycle with the short shorts.
Yeah, they got crazy in the second film
by then.
But that was the good thing about the first 3 is even though people they weren't perfect, there was still media to back them up and make them better. And the media the IDW comics are pretty dang good, but the fourth and fifth one just don't have that. And that makes it even worse because they don't have anything to make it better,
Do you think you're going to see Megatron inside of this continuity? I mean, not a Megatron, Unicron, and Transformers 1.
I think that they're going to. I'm hoping that they allude to the. Here's the thing about the Quintessons. If the Quintessons are as evil as they, in my opinion, the Quintessons should be either their own malevolent alien race or creations of Unicron.
Yeah.
That's who Quintessons need to be an external enough that they're not created on Cybertron because they came to Cybertron and went to war with the Transformers.
Right.
So to me that's the better way to have the
it's almost like a horde to Unicron from G1. You remember that?
Right.
Like these hordes of Unicron. Yeah.
So if you even the
Which continuity had, I want to think it's G1, but I'm probably wrong on this. which continuity had the Quintessons be the original inhabitants of Cybertron and were driven away by the gladiators? So then
that was G1. They were
G1, right?
Right. They came and they turned Cybertron into a factory. Like they came to a planet and turned it into a factory.
Didn't that turn out to be a myth? Like they didn't actually make them; they made some of them. Isn't that the way it goes in G1? I can't remember.
Well, the G1 cartoon just says that Cybertron was a factory created by the Quintessons. Yeah. So in other words, they came and they said that they came and they did experiments with the techno organics, the like the Dweller and all that in the depths of Cybertron, until they were expelled, and then they went to Quintessa. But then they talked so highly about Quintessa like it was already their home planet. Well, in the earlier drafts of Transformers the movie, to my understanding, they were actually creations of
the entity, right?
Of Unicron. Yeah. And the Junkions were on the other side. Like there was basically two moons of Unicron.
I still love that theory that Junkion's that piece of Cybertron missing. I think that's awesome.
Yeah, I like that theory too. That they were actually I left the theater happy. Yeah, it's definitely a great movie. I like the theory that that piece the missing from Cybertron and More Than Meets the Eye Part 1 is actually a piece is Junkion itself. Like it became Junkion because so like Autobots and Decepticon parts make up the Junkions. So they already are Transformers.
I've never heard that, but I like that.
Yeah. And then when you watch Transformers the movie, Cybertron is whole again. There's no longer has holes in it because the Decepticons have conquered it, but they restored it. And then
after Unicron bashes it in, it looks terrible.
A bunch of pieces. Yeah, he smashes it. And then so Rodimus has to rebuild it, and he spends all that time rebuilding, which is why he's like, oh, I'm so bored. I want to get into action, and all I'm doing is rebuilding.
He's so exhausted by season 3 starts.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's that. I mean, I love Rodimus, but that's kind of like the whole that's kind of like I totally get it. Like you're a man of action, and here you are rebuilding. You're just constant. You're like, I got to deal with politics.
Yeah, we've been on this one before. I liked movie Rodimus. I couldn't stand season 3 Rodimus.
Well, Mopey, I like how he looks in the movie better than
Mopey Rodimus.
I was going to show Rod this before. See that?
MP9?
Yeah,
MP9 and the protector armor on Reveal the Shield Rodimus.
Nice.
Love that.
Yep.
Well, it's
I have a classics one if you want that.
Release for that, right?
What was that again?
That's the US release for Rodimus, right?
Yeah. That is
the better version also, Joe, if you were wondering. That is the vastly superior version of that.
Because the MP9, the Japanese version comes with the trailer, and the trailer actually can damage the spoiler going into the trailer.
Right. So there's that. Plus, the leg panel, the shin panel can fall off. The little rivet can strip, and then the hand tabs are too small to hold the guns.
To hold the and the Matrix too. They're just too small. But that's a U.S. release of it. I had it for about 10 years now at least.
Yeah. Yep.
Wow.
And the U.S. one also has the MP01 Matrix, which to this day is the only Matrix that opens.
Screw. Wow, you're good.
Yeah. I've done my homework on MP01 because that was my first masterpiece that I ever bought.
MP01's right there. Sam?
I used to remember things like that.
Nice. You must be getting old, Bert. What you need is a force field.
Yeah.
If you can know what character I'm talking about. Yeah. Bert is now officially Trailbreaker.
Trailbreaker.
No, actually he's old Ironhide.
That might fit him a little better.
I like Trailbreaker. You know what I like about Trailbreaker? He was the kind of guy that tried to make everybody laugh because he felt inadequate because he was a gas guzzler, which is not why his original name was supposed to be Guzzle, which turned out to be a different Autobot. But he was Trailbreaker, but that he was always trying to like pass a joke to try to get everybody on the Autobot team to laugh, so that they kind of like, yeah, Trailbreaker tells the best jokes, but really it's just because he's got him. He actually suffers from his own low confidence, low self esteem. So
Trailbreaker always reminded me of.
I've never related to a Transformer more than I do just now.
Yeah.
He's always reminded me of like a tractor trailer driver.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's kind of, cool guy, not the ones that you kind of find at those dirty truck stops. I'm saying like a cool guy that, he's cool, he talks, he busts jokes, but, they're not really funny. Just a cool dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, so I mean, in terms of the movie, I don't know how to feel around Hasbro's handling of it relative to their efforts to kind of restart this. I'm really confused as to what they're doing. I hear Bumblebee separate away from the Bayverse, and then Rise of the Beast, which is kind of like a forgotten movie now, was a sequel to Bumblebee. They have this whole new continuity. They got a G1. G.I. Joe versus Transformers coming out. Supposed to be a sequel to this one.
That is right, as of right now, delayed. There's no tentative date as to when it's going to come out now because of Stephen Cable Jr. leaving the project because of Lorenzo being an idiot. That has now been publicized. But I do know this. Hasbro is very proud of 1 and how 1 turned out. Yeah. So that's the good news. Yep. They will push this movie as much as possible because they're very satisfied with early screenings. And then as well as the early access stuff that I went to. Mine wasn't an early screening. More so, it was just the movie was out a few days earlier.
Do you think the Bayverse is dead?
I don't think it's dead. I think it'll be preserved. I don't think people are gonna just forget about it. I think Bumblebee's gonna stay alive. The Bumblebee movie will survive because it's a really good family movie that a lot of people I know enjoy. I think Rise of the Beast will die. Unfortunately, I think that one's gonna fade.
And I absolutely love that
movie did not deliver, man. I was so hopeful for that movie, and it just did not deliver.
Man, that's why I think it'll die. I think that's why it's going to fade.
Who showed up in one of my retrospectives that should have been in Rise of the Beasts?
What was that again, Rod?
Who showed up in one of my retrospectives that should have been in Rise of the Beasts?
Tracks?
Gary Chug.
I don't remember things.
Gary.
Yeah.
Should have been.
That would have been cool.
Look, you can like Ron Perlman, but
I think he did great. I also thought that. It's not like a whole. It's not a whole G1 you got to stick with who was. I just feel like it would make more sense because Peter Cullen gets his live action. Why doesn't Gary Chog get his live action of the first character?
We made such a. Remember something? Remember the deal?
Rat Trap. That's who was missing. Rat Trap.
Us older fans, yeah, I know, right? Yeah, Rat Trap was missing.
Yeah, Liam Neeson, yeah, originally, and then we got Peter Cullen.
Right. Well, but we argued for Peter Cullen so hard. We were like, we won't see your movie. I mean, I remember the Don Murphy forums, and how much argument there was because we're like, we need the robots to be treated like characters, and we have to care about them, and you've got to make sure that Peter Cullen is the voice of Optimus. And they're like, we don't even want to bring in voice actors for the robots because the robots are not even important because they're aliens. It's like, but there are characters. That was the arguments.
Literally the title of your movie.
Yeah.
The Transformers, right. They are should be the stars of the movie. And so we fought to get Peter Cullen in the first movie. And we wanted Frank Welker too. And they decided not to do Frank Welker until, obviously the second movie with Soundwave, but then they finally made him Megatron in well, actually they brought him in for the ride and then the games and stuff, right? But then for Gary Chalk and like David, like they should have had Predacons. They should have had Megatron, you know, with Predacon, Megatron. Like that would have been so cool to have Beast Wars, you know, Optimus Primal meet, you know, Gary Chalk and Peter Cullen have a scene. Like that's, it would have been so good. Like that would have been, and you know, and I get it. Like they decided to do Ron Perlman because he had already voiced Optimus once before, or Primal once before. But they squandered.
He was in the Netflix. No, not Netflix. Wait, was it Netflix or was it?
Let's not talk about the Netflix trilogy with the way they did the voices for that guy.
I can't remember which one it was.
When I was saying that the Bay versus Dead, meaning there'll be no more Bayverse movies.
Oh no, they're done. Michael doesn't want to make anymore. He just wants to stay producer. He's fine with how things are going right now.
He's more interested in financing it so he can make more money. So his hands are basically off, and I'm actually glad about that.
The most he got involved was like
Rise of the Beast.
Yeah, Rise of the Beast, and being there with Steven, which Steven was very grateful
Michael Bay
for.
film because of it.
Yeah, honestly, I didn't mind Rise of the Beast. Reason why? Because I'm an inner city kid, and they were playing songs that I loved.
Oh, I love the songs. The music
honestly, when they brought in that Acura Legend, and it had the crown on the crown air freshener, I was like, wait a minute, they do not have a crown air freshener from 1994 sitting in this car. I mean,
I know where you're going with that music nitpick.
Yes. Leland understands too. Yeah. So the movie took place in 1994.
And
Hypnotized came out the year before. Yeah. Hypnotized didn't even come out till like 96, 97.
That's true. It came out in 97 because he died in 97.
Yep.
And it came out right after. Get it completely true.
But still set the scene really well.
I mean, it was basically trying to say, we're in the 90s, people. We're in the 90s. Like, he has a Game Boy, and I can't beat Bowser. Bowser was not even a villain in any of the Game Boy games. on any of the Mario games on Game Boy.
For Game & Watch Gallery. He was in Game & Watch Gallery.
Yeah.
I think it was good. I didn't think it was great. I think it was a good movie.
It was all right. I didn't hate Rise of the Beast. I'm just nitpicking certain things, and I think that Rise of the Beast and Bumblebee were decent, but I think that the last half of Rise of the Beast, what I hated was the Army of Gray.
Yeah, no, that was true. Completely grayed out.
I liked the Bumblebee movie so much, and I had such high hopes for Rise of the Beast, and it didn't feel like it.
Yeah.
They should have had the Maximals and the Autobots each do a team up with one of the Terracons, and it should have just been a battle versus like one Autobot, one Maximal versus one Terracon, and that should have been like that was the matchups in order to like it would have been 2-on-1, 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 and that would have been a better way about it. And then of course Mirage and Noah basically obviously does the whole exosuit, and then with Optimus against Scourge. That would have made a lot more sense instead of this giant army of gray. Because then what happens is all these characters get swept under the rug. You don't even know about anything about RC. You don't even really see Cheetor or Rhinox have any action. Like that whole the first half of the movie in New York was great. I liked it because it was... you felt like if you knew being an inner city, lifestyle and all this stuff that goes on in inner city, that's like it felt like it took place there. Right. But then it does this sidetrack into Peru, and once it goes there, it
kills the movie. Yeah, you're right. It takes it.
It literally goes from a Stephen Caple Jr. movie to a Michael Bay movie.
That's true. You know what? I never thought about it that way. Once it flipped over to Peru, the entire feel of the movie switched and changed over. You're right.
Now, I like the chase scene. I like most of the action in the movie. The chase was great. The whole tumble down the side of the hill, that was cool. The only thing I didn't care for was how the final fight was chopped up. Like how many times it would be like, oh, Elena's gonna fall in the lava and die. Oh, Bumblebee's jumping out of the plane. That was great, by the way. But Optimus getting dogpiled by the freezer drones. Now we're over here, and Nightbird's
now
gonna do
Noah
a
is
crip
kicker for
walk.
Winter Gun.
Yeah. Now Noah's kicker for some reason. Yeah, you're just jumping all around, and I didn't care for the structure of the final fight. But like I said, I liked the movie. I watched it again with my family. We all enjoyed it. It just didn't hit the highs that Bumblebee did or the Bayverse did. It didn't find that medium between the
I think
good
people were
parts about
tired.
both of them. And
Yeah,
I think if it did, it would have been a greater film all for it.
yeah. I think people were just tired. I mean, because if you look at 5 and compare it to Rise of the Beast, Rise of the Beast is a far better movie than
And
Yes.
I'll tell you another thing that hurt the movie was how long we waited for it. I think that was
4
another
years.
thing. We waited
Transformers 1 was also delayed a year too.
Yeah.
So the fact that like Transformers 1 just came out, and I think that might have also Rise of the Beast might have actually played a part in its delay. But
Yeah.
then again, also they wanted to ensure that the movie was good. And just to go back to Transformers 1, I still feel like it was like such a fresh change, and it just did such a good job bringing things in. Now, for the future of the franchise, we know that a G.I. Joe movie is going to be a sequel. I am hoping they don't ruin G.I. Joe, because they have not done G.I. Joe justice in any of the movies
No.
at all. And if you like G.I. Joe, you want them to handle those characters properly. And I want a good crossover that works, and I want Megatron to come back. Now
Yeah, because Megatron hasn't been in the movie, in the Bayverse movie in what, 3 movies?
since
3
the
now?
last night, yeah.
Yeah, just since the last night. Yeah,
Well,
that's a good point. I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
Honestly, I kind of forgot about
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
it. To be quite
And
honest with you.
my issue with the whole G.I. Joe crossover is with having this many characters, and that's the problem that Rise of the Beast ran into with throwing the Maximals in, is how are you going to focus on all of them? Like, that's why I have
They could have.
my expectations. Yeah, they definitely could have, but my expectations after seeing that one for this G.I. Joe one are so low.
Love. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
so low. It's like I almost don't want to go see it, and especially after seeing how good TF1 was.
Yeah.
Like, how are you gonna? I don't know how you're gonna come back and do another live action movie off the heels of Rise of the Beast, which is way inferior to TF1.
Right.
That's the point. Yeah, that's the point. That's the point I'm thinking, because I consider Rise of the Beast a part of the Bayverse too. I think they should stop. I wouldn't go further with it. I would start with Trench to TF1, move forward with that
Yeah,
continuity.
they just need to
Yep.
go with it, and
Yeah.
just can't, because I mean, shoot, they canceled the Bayverse, and they might as well just cancel let that be just 2 movies, and then just let us have the rest of the one franchise.
Yep.
Let's just go that way. I don't have a
And that's
problem with
what-
them canceling those movies.
And even if they do, they can just say, "Well, this is the crossover trilogy."
Yeah, they could call
Right.
it that, or they need to come up with something to call that, because we can't keep calling it the Nightverse or
Nor it
the
is the
Cableverse.
Cableverse.
Yeah, it's not, because we
basically
have
the
2 different
crossover
directors.
Because
Yeah.
you're going to do one movie with G.I. Joe, just have that be like the final nail in that thing, and then just move forward with Transformers 1.
Yeah, that's
Because
really what we gotta
Transformers
do.
1 was just that much better. Because again, it makes me an older fan, like, me and Bert are older fans, that, Lillian's an older fan, Treebot, you're a younger fan. We all enjoyed the movie. My kids enjoyed the movie. My family enjoyed the movie. Like, that's what we wanted out of a Transformers movie, for us all to walk out of the movie and just say we all had a great time and had fun with it.
Yeah.
I did not feel that way for like so many movies for Transformers. I mean, since 1986. I haven't felt this way since 1986, really.
This is the first Transformers movie where I can honestly say, wow, everyone that I took liked it. No one questioned me. There's like, what the heck's going on? They all enjoyed it. They say, hey, I want to go back again. Dad, granddad, whatever. I can never say that for any Bayverse movie. Like I said, I love the Bayverse movies, but I looked at it from a standpoint of, okay, this is new. Let me try to understand this, give it some time, some credit, and I really do. I'm thankful for them. But if you try to go forward with two different lines right now, you're just going to cause more confusion because
Yeah.
people are not going to understand it. Why am I
This
the
is
GTI Joe Transformers and TF1 and whatever? What the heck is going on here?
Yeah.
especially where we are as a community and a franchise right now with how well we've been eating lately.
Mhm.
It is not the time to
Yep.
confuse people.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm going to make my official review tonight for the movie, and I'm going to say that again. It's not the time to start confusing people just because you want some cash. You
Yep.
I
know,
think this is the same thing
and
that hurts the toy line, right? Because every time we have a toy line, there's a toy line for collectors and a toy line for kids, and there's usually media tied to both.
Yes.
And it just gets confusing because you have two different toy lines, and then the stores are not stocking properly, and it hurts the toy line the same way it's hurting the movies.
Yeah.
I had
I'm
one
going to use
review
that
that I
in my
watched.
video.
I had one review that I watched where the guy said the problem with the TF1 is there were no toys. I said, "What the heck are you talking about?" He literally said that. I went into his comments and said, "You have no idea how wrong you are.
Oh,
You have no clue."
Hold on.
Is Rod getting something?
Are you doing push-ups?
Yeah, that's why. Wow. Oh yeah, that's right. The box you got. Look at that.
Yeah.
so there's no toys? There's no toys? Oh, not to mention I got the vinyl for the
Oh man, that's awesome.
yeah.
I got that. Yeah, I got that. That's on my table back
Big Transformers 1 chest full of Transformers 1 toys. And you know what? I may actually bring this with me to TFCon in Baltimore. And
Great.
you know,
You show it to people and tell them they can't buy it.
well, I won't bring the chest. I'll bring the toys, and I'll keep
Inside.
the chest. I want to keep this chest. This chest is nice. This is a nice chest.
It sounded like it was heavy.
I know you've got that D16 Megatron in there. I'm coveting that. Right.
You got to come to TFCon if you want
I need it. Well, it'll be out by then. It'll be out by then I won't need it.
Well,
Does anybody have any other Robertson stuff? I got the Grimlock and Optimus Prime.
No, I have nowhere to put it. That's too much money. That's half a con budget for me.
I don't have.
You know,
I don't have any
I usually
room
bring
for it.
$1,400 with me.
I don't have any room for it.
I just could not justify spending that much money.
And I say that as the guy who's been reviewing Optimus Prime figures for 10 years.
I have it, and it's sitting in the corner inside of the container. So I might actually bring it to TFCon to sell it because I'm
you saying that wanted me to ask you this. Have you looked at this yet?
Yeah.
You have?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna go watch the video because that's one of the ones I haven't seen yet.
I have reviewed every movie Prime, and I have a leader class Prime to represent each of the movies. So I have like, obviously I have the first movie leader class, but that Revenge of the Fallen mold, the first one, that's the clean Prime. I have that as my movie 1 Prime, and then the second one that came out had like the battle damage with the hooks.
Yeah, that's your Revenge Prime.
That's my Revenge Prime, and I don't remember what the subline was called.
That's Hunt for the Decepticons.
Hunt for the Decepticons. I got it at Ross for $10.
No,
over $20. And then I got the Wing Prime, that one that you were holding up, and that's my
Wing. Yeah.
Is that this one here? Because I always wanted to know what the heck that one is.
Sought after movie figure because this was like one of the only ones. Okay, that one is Ultimate Prime.
That's the Ultimate Prime.
Yeah, that's the one that came out in American retail at like Walmart, Kmart, Toys R Us. Yep. This one only came out in Japan or was an Amazon exclusive.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you. I was wondering what the hell that was for years. I forgot what it was. Okay.
That thing was a big deal when I was in like 4th grade. It was such a big deal at the time.
Yeah, and I have reviewed all of them.
Oh, cool. Well, I'll watch your review.
Even that one?
Huh?
Bert, have you done
Ultimate?
the Ultimate Prime too?
Yeah. I have reviewed
Oh.
every movie Prime. Every movie Prime has been up on my channel. Those were the good old days when people were actually watching my channel.
That's kind of how I feel right now. There's one thing that changed the Bay film about the Decepticons with all the artifacts. Okay, then we would have been all done because they would have ended us.
I will say this:
we were all pimples
the
on the
only
devil's
one that
bum.
does not have a fetch quest. You're not doing a fetch quest in Dark of the Moon. That's the fun thing about Dark of the Moon.
Oh, like season 2 of Transformers Prime?
Yeah, you're not. Yeah, well, in the first movie, they're chasing the Allspark. Second one, they're looking for the Matrix. The third one, they're just trying to stop the Decepticons. You know, and I mean they used the MacGuffin.
They were chasing the pillars.
They weren't chasing the pillars. They just found them, and they're like,
well, we gotta get them before the Decepticons do.
And then they're like, oh my God, there's more. You know, and then they realize, oh wait, they've already got them. Now what do we do?
I want to talk about this for a second. So IGN infamously gave this movie a 5. And I've seen some people really genuinely not like it. You know, and I can understand
corner cutting. It was
some of the things that I said were nitpicking the movie. I can see them for the same reasons not liking the movie, even though I enjoyed it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I could see.
But at the same time, IGN picks the most low-hanging fruit to review stuff sometimes,
and they don't even watch it, and then they give it a
low number. Barely watch it and then give it like. I'm sure whoever reviewed this got an early screening, probably a private one, sat in there on their phone half the time, and didn't pay attention to the whole film, you know, and just grabbed little things out of it. I have not trusted IGN since they gave there was one game specific. Well, they gave Transformers the game a 6, which fine, but they're also reviewing a PS2/PS3 era game in comparison to at the same time PS4 games that were just starting to come out. You can't really do that. You know, they were comparing apples to oranges. It was completely
so they were
different.
reviewing a game later on. Well, maybe
later than what they should have.
You know what? What got me with IGN in more recent years was like they are giving games a 7 that are really like 4s, and they are giving.
They gave Doom a 6.
Right, and they're giving good games low numbers, and they're giving higher, bad games higher numbers. You know,
it feels contrarian and it feels disingenuous.
Or it might be bought and paid for reviews.
Yeah, that too.
So
Bert, are you finding something? You look like you're gonna throw some stats down at us.
I'm sending you links. I'm sending you links on our private chat.
Okay.
To Ganon.
Japan is saying that it was not successful
in publicity.
What does that mean?
I don't know.
As in, like the press runs and the advertisements didn't go very well.
Probably,
I'm gonna guess.
But yeah, they're showing the kitty advertisements, and yeah. I don't think they went well here, right? And they have released those first trailers, right?
Oh, okay, Bert. So you got those reviews, but
he's cutting off.
I had to check I had to put my phone on charge over there.
Yeah, what do you mean by that, Kira? Like the release was not that was not really like not a lot of people liked it. Like not a lot of people got excited for the movie, or because I think IGN likes talking crap on Call of Duty and Transformers. Yeah, they probably do it all the time. I do think more people need to see this movie, and I think that even if they dislike even if they dislike it, it's okay. Like like I said, the nitpicks that I can pick up on, I can understand why people might not enjoy the movie, but it's pretty much we've all genuinely liked the movie. So And we've talked our ear off about the continuity and Sentinel Prime being such a jerk. I did like the fact that they took from his design felt like an amalgamation too.
Yeah, it did.
Like he was a
it was
mixed with the
animated
continuity.
You had the color scheme from animated.
Yeah.
Yep.
The sword from Bayverse.
You had the Bayverse sword. Huh?
And the flight mode came from IDW.
And he was a dick like an animated.
Yeah.
No, he was a dick like in everything.
He was Homelander.
He's horrible in every single continuity except for G1. No, that's exactly what he is in IDW. He's literally Homelander in IDW.
Also for Darkwing and I think it was Darkwing and Dreadwind.
So yeah, that's the terror that flaps in the night.
Yeah. I'm gonna make sure you guys stay down here forever.
No, that was a weird one because if you think about the character Darkwing, they barely showed up in G1 anyway, but I would have never thought they were some type of, security guards in a prison or something like that. What the heck was that?
They're gonna be such they've already turned into such memes. Have you seen memes?
I haven't seen the memes yet.
Yeah, no, I haven't seen it.
Hey, Joe, highlight Natasha's comment.
Well, it's
that's another jab at Bayverse. Another jab at Bayverse, right?
Yes, that was a jab at Bayverse for sure. I love it. Especially when he was
I think he was funnier than what people gave. I think he was a lot funnier than what people gave him credit for.
A lot of people are saying that
I enjoyed Bumblebee a lot more.
I was afraid that he was going to be annoying, and I was pleasantly surprised that he wasn't. Like I thought he was funny.
That
funny enough.
It was enough. It was like, okay, all right, you've played the joke a little bit one too many times, but
that was the point. That was the point. He's supposed to be mouthy. So it was kind of leaning towards animated Bumblebee. Animated Bumblebee was a dick.
Yes.
He wouldn't shut up. He wouldn't
shut up. Yeah.
And that's kind of how I felt about this Bumblebee, which I liked. I don't like the G1 Bumblebee that's just the good Boy Scout that's getting in trouble. I like that almost borderline arrogant Bumblebee from animated that is just such a smart ass and it's basically just a dick.
Just think he's destined for something cool. Always thinks he's destined for some greatness in life.
It's cheap out your break.
Something bigger, But dang it.
Yeah. He sounded like Bumblebee.
But I think I agree.
Yeah.
He sounded like Bumblebee just now. It's a big.
I like the characterization of Bumblebee where he's a dick. He just won't shut up. And this guy wasn't arrogant like animated Bumblebee was, but you can kind of see where he'll get there, right? Like he starts off like unsure of himself because he's been down in this, doing this trash job for so long, and he's not a fighter, and he knows it, and he's just kind of unsure of himself. And as he starts to get his abilities, you say, "Oh, I got knife hands, and I got a mask," and you can kind of see that build up where he starts getting mouthier. He starts getting a little more confident, and I really like that because I like that characterization of Bumblebee.
I like the part where he just charges into the room. When he just goes in there and starts destroying everything.
These aren't the bad guys.
It was like that.
You know what? I mean, I like the fact that at the end he actually attacks Megatron to try to save.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, and again, that's a whole character development arc.
Yeah,
in the movie, the Bumblebee the Bumblebee that you meet in the beginning of the movie does not attack Megatron like the Bumblebee.
You remember he ran off first. Remember on the surface?
Yeah,
he ran off first.
Yeah. He was the first one to run away. Yeah,
he's the annoying little kid brother.
Yeah,
and now he's just built up a little bit of confidence.
Yeah,
right.
Well,
and
I think good
the one
he's not going to lose it. He's not going to lose it. If he loses it, I'm done.
There's a lot of good what we as the younger fans have been calling Nexus event or the canon events in Spider-Verse movies. Bumblebee
We've got resident Bayverse Bumblebee here.
Oh,
we
no.
lost him.
We lost him.
Well, he dropped off. Yeah,
he'll come back. I was going to say he was resident. Okay, there we go.
Yeah,
Okay, there we go. Okay. Anyway, like I was saying, the Nexus events that
nope.
Am I tripping again? Am I doing it again?
Yeah.
Are you on your Wi-Fi?
Okay.
Or on your cellular?
It's probably my Wi. It's probably my Wi-Fi because we've got weather. We're getting the hurricane up here too.
Oh wow!
But
it's crazy. Like Bert and I are both
like
in
I said,
Florida.
the canon events
I'm literally
like every
under
continuity.
the hurricane right now, and this is the first time that I haven't glitched out on the live
You
stream.
still have better Wi-Fi than me. But the canon events in like every continuity is Bumblebee blindly jumps at Megatron after he turns, and sent priming to everyone and having some kind of corruption to him. That's like in also Prime's fall, or Megatron and Optimus Prime's falling out so hard that it makes them make fast at each other. You know.
I think I caught it. Did you catch it? Did you catch it, Bert?
Nope.
No.
No idea what he said.
Every stream he robots.
I'm thinking of
this
telling.
is even better. My headphones are dying now too.
Turn off your Wi-Fi. You might just go directly to your cellular. It may be better.
It's possible, yeah.
You sound like that Daft Punk song. Harder, better, faster, stronger. That's what you sound like right now.
If he does, he probably has to cut out and then come back in.
Yeah.
Like if he switches out because of the way the internet, it'll connect to the internet. So, I don't know. But
I love that he drops out and people are like, "Oh, stay safe, Treebot." And like, Joe and I are literally sitting under the hurricane right now.
Mm-hmm. We're the ones in Florida.
Yeah, Treebot is far away from here.
So what is it? The category? What category is it? I haven't even checked. I've been 4.
Yeah.
Is it a 4 now?
Yeah, it went from a 2. It went to a 3 at about 3 p.m. It jumped up to a 3, and then by the time I got off of work at 5 or 6, it had jumped up to a 4.
Okay.
Let me see. Let me see if it's still a 4. I don't see why it would have gone down, but
no. Let's see. Helene. Does it even say yet?
It is the category 4.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah.
I can hear you.
Yeah, it is a 4. It has been a 4 since about 5 p.m.
Oh wow.
You know what? To turn off your video, your bandwidth is being pulled.
That's probably what it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll try that. How's this?
Yeah, that sounds great, man.
That's probably what it is. It's just whatever it is, your internet wherever you're at is just not working the way you need.
Yeah. You know what? I haven't checked out Skybound.
Yeah, Snowfall's in St. Petersburg.
Oh boy.
You were in for a treat.
So you got some fun today, then.
I mean, I've been away, so I just haven't had the ability to purchase them. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, but I heard it's pretty gruesome.
Oh, it's gruesome, but it's great. It's a great story.
Really?
I was somewhat confused by
It's a good modern spin on G1 as well.
Really? Okay. I'm gonna have to check it out then.
I think
one thing I want to comment on, Joe, do you know how like Carly's like kind of racially ambiguous? You can't tell what she is. Like she's kind of like I can't tell what she is because Spike is like white and Carly, I don't know what she is. Bert, help me out here.
Who?
Oh, he's talking about Carly from G1.
I can't tell what
G1. She was just a white blonde girl.
Yeah, Carly from G1.
Yeah, she was just a white blonde
girl. In Skybound.
Oh, in Skybound. Skybound.
She's kind of like racially ambiguous.
I think her mom is probably Asian. or Hispanic.
Like, not that it matters to the story in any way.
Obviously, it's a different character than
I was just like,
G1.
That's so different, you know. Like, I've never seen that before.
So wait, they go down deep and changing up the characters of the humans a little bit.
Have you read Skybound yet?
I haven't, man. I was away, so I wasn't able.
You're gonna love it.
It's a really good comic, but they did change what Carly looked like. Carly's not a blonde girl anymore.
Yeah, she looks Latin or half Asian is what she looks like.
Yeah, because her dad is definitely white. So, and her dad got killed in issue 2. Oh, that's a spoiler.
No, I don't care. You can tell me.
Yeah.
That's not as pivotal to the story, and it's pivotal to her development, but not the story. It's not consequential to the changes the story beats or anything.
All I know is that I came home and I see Optimus Prime with Megatron's arm. I'm like, wait a minute, what's going on?
Yeah, that's kind of a meme, right? That's a meme right now. That's a meme right now, big time.
Hey,
Speaking of Megatron arm, there's the same person that allowed me to make my Megatron, or my Optimus take the Megatron arm. Fire Talks made a adapter for that, and once again, thank you for that, Mike.
Oh, he definitely is. Yeah, he definitely is in the comics. It's just that the way he's drawn is like kind of like rough around the edges.
It's really gritty.
Yeah,
and that's one thing I love about the art style.
Yeah, definitely it has to do with the art style.
You know, that's one thing I liked about the Transformers one. I think it was such a colorful movie. It was absolutely beautiful.
I said this in my spoiler-free review. The robots looked like they were made out of car paint. Like the colors on them was like car paint.
That's true. Yeah, you're right. They kind of reflected like car paint.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful, man. When they came up out of that train and they were like fighting, I guess the leader one was cursing them out, and she turned around and they just all stopped. Honestly, I stopped too. I was like, wow, I didn't know Cybertron was that pretty.
Yeah. The art style was definitely really, really good.
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah, I really do like the way that they're going with this thing. I'm just hoping and praying that it stays on track and starts to really show some revenue for them. And they make a second one. I think we're due for 3, right? The total of 3 in this.
They have a planned trilogy, but obviously the movie has to make
money.
It has to make money.
Yeah.
It was like a synthwave music video. Yeah, that's a good way of looking at it. And I love. They could like. I wish. Now the music is something that I wish had some more G1 cues. I really do. Even if it was a synthwave style of a G1 cue, because there was a lot of people picked up on Transformers Prime, and I don't know, the soundtrack like worked, but I was like, I wanted to hear certain things that would have like, I don't know.
You know, I think it fit because when you remember when they went into the cave with the primes in it, they had like these certain like little tones that are kind of popping up when they were walking through. It kind of gave it this eerie, almost like heavenly type of feel to it, that they were walking into some type of hollow ground. But I like when I like how they place the different, portions of the soundtrack. Right. But I do agree it didn't flow at times with it. Yeah. I do agree with that. But I think they were properly placed. It just didn't flow well into each other.
Well, the synth wave, when they go up on the surface and it's the kind of like that slower synth wave kind of a thing, it gave it an 80s sci-fi movie feel.
Sure.
If you think about just any sci-fi movie in the 80s or even before that, when they're going into like a strange planet or into space, or when your characters are going into somewhere unknown, you kind of get that synth wavy kind of a music a lot of times, and that's what they did here. And it kind of made it feel like, hey, I'm back in the 80s. I'm in my wheelhouse. And I really loved that. I thought
the soundtrack was almost kind of like Blade Runner in that way.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a good way of thinking about it, like Blade Runner.
Yeah.
I love that movie. That's a great movie.
Another thing too about the planet, how it seemed like it was healing itself. You kind of saw mountains forming and going away, and they were doing, digging.
Yeah, it was constantly changing.
Yeah, it's constantly changing. Pieces of it is moving around all the time.
Could have been healing, or could have been the other way around. Because if you think about the parallels, the energon was not flowing. What happens on Earth
Right.
as oil starts getting depleted? We get tectonic plate shifting, and we get earthquakes, and the Earth moves. Millions of years ago, entire continents moved. They crashed into each other. They created mountains. So and as the oil is being depleted from Earth, we're starting to see these things happening again. If you think about those parallels, the energon was no longer flowing, which is causing tectonic shifts as well, causing the land masses to shift. So it could have been healing, or it could have been the other way around.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
Fan theory. They don't. They neither confirm nor deny fan theory, but that's the way I took it.
It's a good theory. It's a good theory.
And with this, I think this is probably a good place to cut it. But yeah
it's only
I really
been
hope good word of mouth helps this movie out.
You know, one more thing real quick.
For 2 hours.
Yeah, I know. We've been going on here. Go ahead.
One more thing real quick. I don't know if anyone picked this up, but when Pax was falling after B-16 dropped him, right, and he's falling down to the primes, or to the center, when they were kind of going back and forth between
Megatron
and all that. If you recall, when he said, "I am Megatron," they say, "Arise, Optimus Prime." The same way they said, "Arise,
Rodimus Prime."
Rodimus Prime.
Yeah,
it's the same exact. I caught on that. Say that's interesting because you think about it. Optimus Prime called up Rodimus Prime.
Yep.
That sounded like that was Zeta Prime calling up.
I think that was Alpha. I think it was Alpha Trion who said it.
Yeah, I was trying to determine between the two, because they both sounded the same. It might have been the same voice actor, but it sounded like Zeta Prime to me. It could have been Alpha Trion too. But that was really interesting how they kind of did that in there. They kind of mirrored the same thing.
I liked how they were. It was back and forth. Like it was going between one then the other, and then of course you're seeing Megatron rip him, and then you're seeing the debt, and also half of Optimus being missing is a Dark Awakening reference as well. Since half of him was blown off right at the end of Dark Awakening, and then of course he revived Optimus. Yeah, missing the eye and everything. So,
And that even kind of lines up to, again, another Star Wars thing where you saw Anakin turning into Darth Vader and how his kids were being born at the same time. His wife was dying and he was kind of coming up. It's almost like the same play. Playing back and forth between the two scenes. So,
I also liked when you see all the other Transformers starting to get their cogs and you're starting to recognize and point out the characters because they're becoming the recognizable characters. They already were without the cogs, but then when they got the cogs, they started turning into the more recognizable characters. And I loved that way that ended. And I also liked the imprinting of the Decepticon symbol at the end credit scene. That was I loved that. And then, of course, now in G1, it was Alpha Trion who led the Autobots to liberate Cybertron from the Quintessons. So now it's Optimus Prime in Transformers 1 that's going to be, and that's where I think Transformers 2 is going to end up going, is that it's basically going to be the Cybertronians are going to expel the Quintessons once and for all from Cybertron. And then, of course, I think if they do a third movie, it'll be the fall of Cybertron.
Yeah, it's going to be the Decepticons. The Autobots are not going to be able to do it. The Decepticons have to come in. They save the day and take over the planet.
And then the war starts, basically.
And decimate the process. Yeah.
So the
it's going to be one of those. Yeah. You're really going to let them take the planet? And it's like, we don't have the numbers. We're screwed. You just let them take the planet, then I'll feed into the third
kind of thing. Which kind of... I'm curious as to what the story is going to be that's going to lead them. Are they going to follow the same flow of time? Because the other thing I was curious about was the time frame between when did the Quintessons come to Cybertron from the era of the Primes? Like, how long of a time frame was that?
They said it was 50 cycles.
Since
Oh, you talking about when they first came to fight the primes? You're right. Yeah.
right, how long that was, we don't know. We
Sure.
also don't know if Cup exists. Cup is supposed to be an old guy,
Oh yeah, sure.
right? So is Cup older than Optimus? And you know what I mean? Like I started thinking about that.
I'm sure
He's
he's
supposed to be.
It's a big planet, right? It's
Yeah.
like if you think of, so when I was in the army,
you gotta understand, we're nerds. We think about these
think
things.
of it this way. Think of it this way. When I was in the army, if I went home on leave, as soon as I walked out of the airport in uniform, somebody would ask me, "Oh, you're in the army? Do you know so and so?" Like we're all in this club and we all know each other. Do you have any idea how many hundreds of thousands of people are in the army?
Yeah.
You know, what are the chances that I know the guy you know? Think of it that way, right? So it's a whole planet of beings. Cup is an old guy. Yeah. He's there somewhere. Well, we just didn't see him because
again, we're Transformers nerds. We know
we only saw characters there. We only saw Iacon. We didn't see everything else.
Yeah,
we didn't see Kaon.
I think you saw Kaon where they were at though, where the Decepticons were at. That might have been Kaon.
That's going to be.
Yeah.
Should take place during Cybertron's. Well, I think Cybertron's golden age is going to end with the Quintessons being expelled. So
I think this is the golden age in a way now, right?
Yeah, because Cybertron is flowing on Cybertron again.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah. But
great movie, man.
Yeah,
great movie.
It was such a great movie, and it was great. And I'll tell you this much: it was really fun being able to talk with other Transformers fans. We haven't done this in a while.
No, we have not.
We haven't had a good.
I need to have a good one where my internet doesn't screw up again.
That's what I say for every stream. So I'm glad I didn't have to be the one this time.
Well, this is my first time on here, so I've always came in as like someone that kind of support.
You were always in the comments. I always wanted to bring you in. It just it was a matter of time, or you were doing stuff, and
Well, I'm glad to be here with you guys. Can't wait to see you guys at TFCon, and I want to do a lot.
I hate that I'm gonna miss you, man.
What's that again?
I hate that I'm gonna miss you.
Yeah, man. Same here, Bert. I'll see you though. I'll see you around.
And Roz, this is Roz is finally gonna make it to a TFCon, and it's the one that I'm not going to. I'm so pissed.
Oh.
Well, you was at the one 2 years ago, Rod? There was one 2 years ago.
I was at the last one in Baltimore, and I was the one in Orlando too. I went down to Orlando.
Yep, that's where I was.
Last year was Orlando.
Yeah,
last year was Orlando. Year before that was Chicago, I think.
Yeah, and then it's going to be next one will be Chicago. Yeah, 25 will be Chicago.
2020 was supposed to be Orlando, and it got canceled.
Yeah, because of COVID. Yeah.
Right. And then they did Chicago, and then they did
Baltimore in 23.
Baltimore, yeah. And then they did Orlando again. And now they're doing Baltimore again.
23 was last year. 23 was Orlando. 22 was Chicago. 21 was Baltimore.
Mm-hmm.
I went to
23 though. Orlando was awesome.
Yeah.
That's probably the most fun I've ever had at a con.
You went to BotCon this year?
I went to BotCon, one that you were at, but I didn't meet up with you. Remember, you were there, but we didn't cross paths.
Yeah, because you were. I think you had to leave early, right?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I got pulled into something. Yeah, yep.
Yeah. The only BotCon I made it to was the one in Orlando.
Yeah, Joe. One thing I was going to mention to you is, it's BotCon is here to stay in Fort Wayne for now. It's going to be in Fort Wayne again this June.
I'll have to see about trying to actually make it to Fort Wayne.
That's more than likely. If I don't go to Baltimore, I'm definitely going to BotCon in Fort Wayne again.
Yeah, then MegaCon in Orlando is going to be. I'm going to try and make it to that in
February.
That's in February.
We quit going to that years ago.
You quit going to MegaCon?
Yeah.
It's just too much?
It got too big for its britches. It was just it became a money grab.
It's as big as New York Comic Con.
Yeah, it just become a money grab. When the last time we went, actually, we were there in the Ghostbusters booth, And across from us, they had like a DeLorean. They had like a couple of movie cars. They put a curtain around them so you couldn't see them or take pictures of them. You had to pay to go see them.
That's
and
crazy.
Like, they're not even the movie cars. They're just replicas of the movie cars. They're not even the real movie cars.
Oh, wow.
That's
so stupid.
Like, what
that
the hell
is so stupid.
Wow.
Yeah.
What do you think of Tampa Bay Comic-Con?
Same thing. We stopped going to that one. We used to, Tampa Bay Comic-Con used to be quarterly. It used to be a Sunday show in a hotel in downtown Tampa, and it was $5 to get in. And it was quarterly.
Wow.
One day Sunday show. And we used to go to every single one. And, you know, then Tim, the owner, he sold it. And then those guys took it to the convention center, and they grew it. They made it bigger. And it was okay the first couple of years, but then they sold it to a big convention company that's not from Florida. And that was the first year, like that was the beginning of the end, because all of the vendors that year, none of them were locals. Like all of the vendors that have been going to Tampa Bay Comic-Con for years and years and years, all of a sudden none of them could go because this company that bought the show brought their own vendors from out of state. And it started slowly becoming a mini MegaCon, if you will. And we quit going years ago.
It's very much like New York. New York Comic-Con is massive.
Mm-hmm.
Massive.
Bert, did you go to MetroCon this year?
No, we missed it.
No.
I think I was traveling.
Oh, okay.
But you know, the Transformers conventions are nice because they're more like centralized into one topic, basically being about Transformers.
They're smaller. It's so yeah. I remember the heyday of going to the small conventions, and over time, we saw these conventions get bigger and bigger and bigger to the point where they stopped being fun. They were no longer alluring to us, and starting to go to shows like TFCon and like smaller shows. Like,
you know, a lot of people
they bring back that
celebrity petting zoos.
What's that?
So they call them celebrity petting zoos.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, going like I really enjoyed TFCon because it's a smaller show. It kind of feels more like the old, smaller conventions that we used to go to back in the day.
Yeah. I get that feeling. So, but you know, it's getting late. We've been on for 2.5 hours.
Yep.
And
the eye of the storm is officially north of both of us now.
It has not stopped raining since we hit the hour mark here. It has rained for an hour straight.
Where are you again, Treebot?
Southern Illinois.
So you're in southern. Wow. It hasn't made landfall.
The beginning of it. I don't know what the beginning of it was, but it got here around.
Stop culturally appropriating a hurricane, okay?
You haven't got hit by the hurricane yet. You haven't got hit by that thing yet.
I don't know what's hitting us right now.
There's another system that's going across. I know what it is. It's yeah.
Hurricane is not made
no, the hurricane's supposed to hit us tomorrow. Then
like Engineer Hoist earlier today he said his power went out due to the hurricane, and we're like, dude, you're on the East Coast. Shut up.
Yeah, this might still have some implication just because of how weather works, but regardless, I know the meat of it's supposed to hit us tomorrow.
Yeah, but the eye of the storm is now north of both Bert and I, right?
Right now, it is northwest of Ocala.
Okay.
So, I mean, yeah, I think we've seen the worst of it at this point.
Okay, because it's pretty windy out there right now.
Yeah, we're still getting big gusts here and all of that, but it's approaching Cross City, and it looks like it's going to go right into Perry in the next 2 hours or so.
Gotcha. All right. So it's been fun.
Yeah.
I hope everybody who tuned in and enjoyed the show, enjoyed us bantering on and nerding out for 2.5 hours and talking about Transformers and nothing but Transformers.
Go watch it. It's a good movie.
Go watch Transformers 1 in theaters if you haven't seen it.
Don't pirate it. No piracy.
Yeah, we want more of these, so go see it in theaters. Help this movie be successful so they can make
Do not fire stick it. If you fire stick it, I'll
Go and
I'm not
watch
gonna finish
some of
that
my
sentence.
older Transformers retrospectives if you've missed any, like Blitzwing or the Headmasters or Wheelie or
All good.
Optimus Primal or the Headmaster. I think they said the Headmasters.
And go check out my 100th video.
Yeah,
Do
and
a
I have.
retrospective on this guy, and this guy
I
only.
did a video on Sideswipe as a whole.
No, on this guy. Retrospective on him.
I
On
should have
Mikey?
had you on for that segment. I'm regretting it now in
Finally,
hindsight,
I have
not
no-
having you on.
I have notes about your last video. I have notes.
He has notes. You're one of those. What are you writing? What are you writing?
I will give a hint for my next retrospective that I'm working on. She will be fun and shouldn't be that long of a video, but will be coming out very soon.
Hmm.
So
I think
Is
you
it
gave him enough.
Striker? Is it Striker?
No.
It's Striker. I know it's Striker. It's got to be.
Arachnid.
you'll
I
see.
want Striker.
You'll see.
Give me a
It's
Striker
Arachnid.
retrospective, Joe. Where's
Dude,
my Striker
fumbled.
retrospective?
I
Not much
fumbled
to it.
so bad in that movie when Arachnid showed up. And my daughter and I both said at the same time, except that she said Arachnid and I said Black Arachnia.
Oh,
And immediately, like, as the words are coming out of my mouth, I'm like, come here, come back. Come back.
I did do a Black
I can
Arachnia
just,
retro-
I
retrospective.
can
was
just
saying the
hear,
wrong thing.
I can feel Carmen's side eye from you saying
I-
that.
I-
But you know what I hated though?
As I was saying it, I knew that I was saying it wrong and I couldn't stop it.
But you know what I hated? She turned into this weird helicopter as compared to a spider. She should have turned into a spider. I mean, it had a beat,
she's
spider leg.
Arachnid. That's the character.
Yeah, she has
Arachnid
a
is
spider
a
leg.
helicopter. That's
Well,
her
I know
character.
that, but they had her looking like a spider. I
And
was
then she had the
Prime,
spider
she
eye
did
thing.
both.
The whole
Remember,
I
she
see
had
everything.
spider
Yeah,
legs.
in Prime she did both.
I was hoping for a spider. Because they had her walking around and acting like a spider.
Like maybe in the cave, have her come in as a spider in the cave and like just
Yeah.
at least once show us a second spider mode. Yeah,
Yeah,
I agree.
That would
Triple
make-
change or something.
Still, it was very enjoyable. And I'm getting tired. You can tell. Must be getting old.
We all do. We're all there, man.
Yep. So until next time, guys, till all are one.
Thank you.